That just flips the other way around, so not doing that. Oh, you saw what you saw. I know you're fucking mad because I worked for something and I bought it with my goddamn hard-earned work and American work and fucking money. Praise Jesus. See, y'all done fucked up, man. It's all good, though. It's all good. I ain't gonna be mad. I'm gonna sit here and read my entire fucking book right now. Okay? In case anybody's wondering, anybody wants to know what I was talking about, all that shit about me writing my book. Yeah, I wrote it in fucking ink. I used the parchment. I put the ink to it. I care about my life. Fuck your slow connection bullshit. You're lying out your goddamn ass. Okay? Yeah, go fuck with somebody else, assholes. Go hack somebody else's bullshit, you fucking pieces of garbage. Worthless fucking monkey goddamn humans. Or machines or whatever the fuck you replicants might actually be. Let's put all the imaginary shit aside for a moment. I know, I'm sorry, I'm angry. And I'm not really angry, I'm expressing myself. I have every right to do that, don't I? It's still America. We still have freedom of speech, don't we? Free will? With free will, doesn't that mean that everybody gets a say in what happens to them? Shouldn't they? I would think that makes a little bit of sense, right? Right, Trump? Right, Prez? You want to make all these fake fucking videos, all this bullshit that's not real. It's just not real. So, okay, here we go then, folks. I know nobody's going to be watching because there's no reason for anyone to actually listen to the truth. But this is my book. I wrote the motherfucker by hand with my pen. Show you the pen right here. It's been a number of pens actually up to this point. See, that's my pen. I like the G2 ones because they got some awesome fucking ballpoint action on them. That's why I use that shit. You want some advertising, motherfuckers? There's your advertising for your goddamn live fucking stream, you cocksuckers. Praise Jesus. Hail Mary, Mother of Satan. Read that book again if you don't believe me. Because listen to this. To be born, according to the Holy Bible, is original sin. So to be born again would be double sin. But two wrongs don't make a right. Therefore, it's not true. You can't be saved by Jesus. Listen to your fucking hearts. Listen to your minds. Think with your brains. And don't have faith in something you can't prove. Okay? Okay? Does that sound good? That sound good to you? That sounds good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and just have some fun. I'm going to laugh a little bit. I might cry a little bit because some of this shit hits my heart pretty goddamn hard. All right? I do cuss a lot. If the kids don't like the cussing, get them out of the goddamn room. All right? I'm a fucking 40-year-old fucking man. I have every right to express myself exactly as I see fit. So here we go. Fuck the slow connection. It's all bullshit, man. I have a 5G fucking tower right the fuck back there. There's no reason there should ever be a slow goddamn connection. The internet's bullshit. Praise Jesus. Yeah, that fucking guy. I mean, it was me, so... If you don't believe me, look into my eyes. Remember I said look into my eyes to see Jesus battling Satan? One and the same, you and I. We're one and the same, you and I. All right, but here it goes anyway. Remember I started at the back at the one point. Chapter 3, I was talking about the book of Teonus. Well, the book of Teonus is literally my whole goddamn life. It's my entire life. I am the living burden of proof of God in the flesh. Because I prayed for divine intervention. And God never showed up. I'm still here, though. The fucking throat, you know what I mean? Just squeeze the shit out of the motherfucker. I'm still here. So praise Jesus. See, there's not going to be a single viewer. This entire stream, there will be no single fucking viewer at all. I'm the only one who's actually going to see this. So fuck it. Regurgitate the whole goddamn world. I'll puke that shit out and fucking lick it back up like an old fucking dog. Kind of the theme about this book anyway, though. It's about dogs and God and man and the whole understanding of the cyclic nature of the sickle fucking beast. Praise me. I am the beast that God raised. But anyway, let's get back to actually reading the book here. I'm going to start from page 1. The book so far is untitled. I'll just leave it at that. Part 1. Now, and I do dedicate this to Lori Harper, my mother, Gail Louise Barnes, and my father, Charles Francis Barnes. I haven't heard from any of them in a long time. I don't trust that my father I actually spoke with is my father because there's been a lot of AI shit going on that I don't fucking trust. But I've been pointing it out pretty clearly. So on that note, Part 1. Galactic dreams in specks of dust. It's not what my body did, nor is it what my mind told it to do. It was what my spirit inferred from my mind racing onward toward the snap of your throat. That justice so easily evaded beyond that, the night of your glorious rapture, was uncommon to my behavior at best. It was what your eyes told my spirit in that moment. We are one and the same, you and I. One and the same. Two lost souls intertwine. A singular conscious episode. This dizzying spiral of genetic superiority is all it took to make you see me, to make you feel my thoughts crashing in through yours. Quiet at last, after the cascading rush of endorphin and synapse. Your throat was balanced, as I vaguely recall. The snap I intuited from beyond my perceptive reach, just outside the realm of possibility. Fragmented like the thoughts leading up to that moment. Now I know you better than even you can ever know your own soul. I saw your emotion, saw your reflection through the stars that night. No nursery rhyme could justify your preemptive slumber in those final connected instants. No heart or mind or God could save you from my love. For it was and is my love which set you free, eternally. Gracious be your many sins, provoked in fear, finalized in despair. Not many ways to right the imbalance of your existence, but your throat. How I longed to embrace your precious throat. My Lord was with me on that night. He smiled as you exhaled your witness to this world and all others like it along the way. Your breath shone in the light of the blue and red moons, a mist not unlike a ghost evacuating your warm and cooling host. Christ, you luscious parasite, damnable wretch. Death truly does not suit you. Neither does life, apparently. Funny, no? The way the last tiny glimpses of time were so balanced in your throat. I could hear your demons whisper the truth to me through your ears. We don't need this one. This vessel will not suffice, nor will it perish. So human on the outside, innocent, betrayer, feast. You see, love, I had to take you from them. They would surely have found a way to escape you. Then the last balance of the tongue of fate would snap. Father's voice softened, beckoned through the night. His echo rang loud and true to the faithful, but he was weak. He could not have anticipated that I would get to you first. I was supposed to be dead, of course. And after all, the dead don't speak, don't dream, don't slumber. They only observe. It was in that prison of a vessel I found your purpose. I found your true beauty. Your energy, raw as your broken image and form, supplemented by your regret. Your wings ripped off so splendidly, so fucking violently. Your throat singing the praise of the night's graceful finish. I know you, and I have been here before, love. I know what you once did. We shared a common resting place. On hallowed ground where the Father took his first steps. I know what you wish to forget. But you don't balance in the mix. In the grand scheme, the endless plot, you remain forever unfinished. A deal which never fully played out. There was a reason why your throat was so perfect. It sang the names of stars and angels. The devil didn't hear his name, though. This angered the heavens. Exploding from within the pit of despair, the darkness turned to life. Life to light. Light to death. And finally death to darkness. Empty were the sacred tomes. Empty was the universe and its understanding. Someone played a joke on you, love. For in that moment you came back to me. The hair on my neck did not stand. The dead don't grow. Peace, for what it was worth, was not part of the design. The master raped the birthrights. The master of your torment knew me well. I heard him whisper through your eyes. As the walls bled your name, the fortress began to quake. The mighty beast had fallen. Its claws scraped the foundation, loosing the fires below the earth, and the balance of your throat plagued me, infected me. My lord smiled with you. He wept joyfully for your third arrival. His tears filled the world with time. His exasperated sighs eased the universe's tension. As your throat snapped, so too did your look, my love. Psychotic, paranoid with unnatural fear, you were the most beautiful creature the Lord made. Your voice, through curdled blood, echoed freedom. You were not meant for greatness in death. You were no mere legend, love. I was to bear you till the appropriated moment, to walk with you in your rapture. The blood of your choking voice tasted better that night. Christ, you leech. Were you so clever as to hide your face in the light, shrouded in darkness in that pit of despair? Burdened one, oh, how you wept my name. Father came home, if only for a glimpse, to witness your perfect rapture, to idle the name of your tongue on mine. God smiled as we met. Two lost souls intertwined, and heaven ceased in that moment. Demons lost their visions and dreams. Children bore the wings of devils, rushed to the call of hope. Prayers transformed into songs in the night. In the calm still of blue and red moons, the wind cried her name, love. I know you remember me. I put those thoughts within your reach, that you may enter through the divine sept. I saw your heritage spill into rivers upon hallowed land. Swim in your ancestry, through the river of the enlightened, backward through time's stretch. Clench your throat as I seep inside. Escalate your motive. Act upon your instinct. Fear not my wrath, for it is glorious to behold. Don't you remember me, love? It is I, and I am you. We are one and the same. So weep not in sorrow. You are free eternally. Rejoice, you brave soul. You are home now. Can't you hear Father calling to Master? Don't you remember the way we intertwined? You were mine and I was yours. We were one and the same. Chapter 1, Lullaby. Lick, lick, lick. Ah, Everett, down, boy. Get the hell off me, you big oaf. He just looked at me as if to say, but Master, I need you up now. I need food. I need to poop. I'm thirsty, goddammit. Wake up. As I look over groggily at that blasted alarm clock, the old piece of shit, it reads 6:13. Can't even sleep in on my day off. Everett just keeps giving me that urgent fucking look. Master, up, up! Sitting up in bed as quickly as my young man's old bones will allow, I smack my toe on the bed frame. If that isn't enough, I put my foot down, throbbing with pain, into a puddle of Everett's piss. Jesus, fuck! Now I know better. A Christian man shouldn't be taking the Lord's name in vain. However, I've never been able to remain entirely Christian. I have a thing about bullshit and repetition, and generally stunted or stilted speech. I like to pride myself a spiritual man with a fairly sharp mind. Be good to others, be good to yourself, and generally, just don't be an asshole. Life in a nutshell. Why human beings feel the need to complicate things I will never understand. I myself tend to do it on rare occasion, but then I tend to catch myself before I get carried away. On rare occasion. Come on, boy, move your ass. Downstairs, let's go. Wagging his tail as excited dogs do, he ran around me all the way down the hall to the stairs, then sat there patiently till I reached him. Before my throbbing foot hit the edge of the second-floor landing, he bolted down the stairs and waited once more. Catching up to him at the first-floor landing, I go to pat him on his head, and he doesn't give me the chance. He just proceeded through the living room, into the kitchen, and almost smacked head first into the back door, sliding on the cool tile. Everett had a very irregular rhythm to his bursts and stride. He didn't account for momentum or gravity or all the wonderful laws of physics we mortals are governed by. He was sort of like a goofy, dumb cartoon. But entertaining? Oh, hell yes. One did not require drugs to get high. One only required an Everett. I let him out the back door. He runs out onto the grass, just a few feet off the concrete slab I call a deck, picks a spot and poops it. Looking back at me for approval, I nod to him. Good boy, Everett. He does his little circle around the turd dance, sniffing it a few times, then rushes past me back into the kitchen. Whereupon he takes a leak on the floor. You little shithead. It keeps skipping over me, watching me to know where I'll be. It's like a chain of commercial interruption with brief moments of tranquility laid throughout. The deceptive beauty strikes deeply into one's mind, yet I can't seem to find peace within my own. It only drives me toward those dark places I've fought endlessly to escape. I'm honestly not even sure where it comes from, but it's often accompanied by a small bell, as if an abstract form suddenly appears before me. It doesn't want me to focus, unless I focus directly on its lull from the other side of the universe, lost indistinctly somewhere to time immemorial. For hours I try to navigate the corridors of this space, this black hole where my desires primitively collide to form profound and astounding patterns. The sickly soothing ghosts of this dark hidden region in my soul's embrace, cradled behind some distant locked door in my memory, nearly gain enough of my attention to wake me, while I know I'm softly sound asleep. Just as well I should be asleep. To witness these atrocities in my waking life would most certainly disturb my complete psyche. The bell keeps chiming to me. I think it wants me to lose myself to its simple childlike lure, hypnotizing me to get close enough to scratch me ever so gently. I think my little cherub is angry. It longs for my affection, but I won't adhere. There's something so unsettling about that passive-aggressive little nuisance, but I love her just the same. Oh, death, you foul beast. You morbid creature, you. Coochie coochie coo, motherfucker. Seems like it's been a dog's age since the sun has shone. Rain, rain, go the hell away. Leave my ass alone today. My moods frequently reflect whatever the weather is doing outside. Right now I feel strung out on the precipitation. I spend many days sweating bullets, dodging stress, but stress finds me nonetheless. And anymore, I don't do stress. During my reckless and healthier days, I was generally on a mission to go to the dogs. Don't get me wrong, life is and always has been very beautiful, especially to me. But to the drugs I used to do, and my mind under their needy influences, we can make life even more beautiful. The heart wants what it will, after all, and mine got homesick. Walking through this world alone for so many years, I longed for a place to consider... Walking through this world alone for so many years, I longed for a place to consider my own. But I don't quite fit. At least that's what I knew at the time. It took years for me to come back around again. Back around to healthy chemistry, healthy habits. Why did it take me so long to realize that the shit didn't fit anywhere in me? I wasted so many days and nights away, attempting to find the perfect arrangement, perfect order, perfect molecular constitution, perfect timing. Life was already perfect before I started fucking it up for myself. God, I tried so hard to hear you in all your infinite wisdom. I know now that I was using those drugs as my transport to you, when all along I was the transport. But that's the initial set of receptors you destroy. From there, it's a downward spiral into your own misconceptions and fantasies. Reality is a good thing. Stay there. Hi, Lisette. You might actually learn something. I'm one of the fortunate ones these days. I get to perform emergency operations on the AI implants that start acting up. I'm what you'd call unmodified. Back around the 15th or 16th UC, humans perfected state-of-the-art artificial intelligence hardwiring technology. About a decade or so later, anybody who didn't score above 160 on an IQ test was implanted or modified. The general notion was this: take away free will from stupid people, take away accidents which are the result of stupid decisions. And like I said, I was one of the lucky ones. Can't just have things work out the first freaking time. See, I'd like to be able to read this just uninterrupted. Okay, I was one of the fortunate. So with my expertise in programming and digital interfacing, I was recruited early on to learn how to find and fix bugs in the AI implants. Because while they were foolproof most of the time, the human mind still comes out on top every now and again. That, and they're linked in through a 5-dimensional time signature wave that sometimes has tiny murmurs. It's basically those murmurs that send glitchy information to the implants. Only the most trace residue of the human process can interrupt the signal, bringing back some of the host's perceptive functionality. This is bad. Motherfuckers get angry when they are uncertain where they are, how they got there, or what the hell they're even experiencing. How would you feel if you suddenly awoke on an alien world in a mine shaft inlaid with jostle bugs and neural network feeds, talking to a creature of unknown descent in a language you've never even learned or spoken yourself, holding a device in your hand which you're fairly certain is used for splitting open rib cages? You might freak out, right? Well, that's what my work prevents. Less drone awareness means more uninterrupted work progress. Keep a smooth up and running order, keep my job. And save lives all the while, lives of the dereleuthriest. Human lives don't matter anymore. A nifty little trick I've learned throughout my years of experience is to play a nice little snippet of a child's song directly into a problematic host's implant for about 2.3 seconds. Time dilation occurs at the nanoscopic level, so seconds seem more like hours to an implanted host. This method has the highest success rate at approximately 86%. It's also the least obtrusive, so the host rarely even notices a change from the world outside their head. They just feel like a little baby being rocked gently back to sleep. Now, if they gain even the faintest notion that something is amiss, they start to feel the implant's directives. This is bad. This is when I have to get obtrusive. Reading their neural patterns, I have to rapidly target any receptors leading to creative thoughts. Basically, I have to drop a bomb on their imagination to prevent them from blowing up. In worst-case scenarios, the angered host must be removed. This hurts productivity, but saves the dereleuthriest. It's only happened once on my watch, and it was a result of a rare fungus plopping spores all over the place. Nobody seemed to have any idea where it came from, or where it got to for that matter. I think they fucked up and just didn't want to admit it. They're a proud species, the dereleuthriest. Ego-driven, power-hungry, quadrupedal reptilian primates. Not to mention they've recently taken a firm liking to silicon-based life forms for crossbreeding and evolutionary mechanical upgrading. They're taking on new forms every week, it would seem, and starting to look weird, even by my standards. I've been seeing my mother in my dreams a lot recently. Just this morning I was back in one of our old homes on planet Earth. She was young again, her red hair aglow in the dreamlight. I once tripped on some really good acid in that same home, and saw her at one point during the course of the evening with fiery orange and purple hair, reptilian scales, and huge monster's lips and eyes. Her tongue lashed in her mouth behind grotesque teeth, and it scared the hell out of me. I was like an infant sitting on the floor of my bedroom, mesmerized by the fact that I was seeing stars in space behind her. I know at one point during my charade I witnessed another kind of stars. She slapped me in the face for speaking in a very nasty sexual tone, ranting for minutes on end with no awareness of my surroundings whatsoever. That was the only time in my life that my mother ever felt the need to hit me. I could tell she felt horrible, even through my hallucinatory incoherence. But in my dream this morning she was smiling, happy, healthy, not saying much to me. My dad was there too, which sort of worried me a bit. My mother's been gone a while, but my dad is still alive. Kind of got the feeling that he had joined her on the other side, and this was the universe's way of letting me know. Also got the idea that God was giving me the heads up as well, like my turn's next. What a way to start the day. Makes me a little jealous of the modified, actually. Only to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong, consciousness is magnificent, but the modified don't dream. They go about their governed routine like obedient little worker bees, buzzing around with no self-awareness, no desires, no fears. But I can't help wondering what kind of an impact that has on their souls. Time without the soul growing or experiencing the emotional connections of the flesh must influence the structure or fabric of reality. Otherwise, perhaps there truly is no soul. Maybe we are just crude flesh and bone organisms fitted into a small multidimensional array of elemental components, never reaching any points beyond the one life we get conceived into. Or maybe I've just been spending too much time with the Derelutriist. Man, I could actually use a vacation. Where's my phone? Well, Everett, just you and me, buddy. 2 weeks away from the office. What do you say we go to the park? It's finally looking beautiful outside again. The sun is shining, the rain's been gone for 2 days now. Life is as good as it's going to get for us, old boy. With his big, bright, wide eyes, wagging his tail at light speed so it looked like only a blur fanning his ass, Everett gave me the nod of approval. Yep, let's go. I grab Everett's leash, throw it over my shoulder, grab my house key off the stand by the front door, make sure said door is locked, then head toward the garage. Everett follows closely by my feet, anxious to get into the white shuttle bike. The park's a nice little 2-mile ride from my neighborhood, mostly straight and smooth going. The mossy Belgiunium trees that line my street are beautiful this time of year, luscious full bloom. They produce a metallic crystalline sap directly from the leaves, which appear as dripping turquoise and lavender wax, frozen in time, once they oxidize. They almost remind me of the weeping willow trees I saw on Earth as a child, only much more complex and psychedelic. It was, in fact, the prismatic nature of this planet which first attracted me to it as a potential residence. There's almost a distorted symmetry to the chaotic growth all over the vastly varied landscapes. Honestly, it makes me think the place was some ancient god's chemistry experiment. Nothing feels quite natural, though everything grows naturally. It's possibly one of the most vibrant, exotic planets in the entire universe. Shit, it took me 24 years of research just to find the damn place. At first, most people talked about it like it was only a rumored planet. It was the kind of locale you read about in the fairy tales, magical and unknown. But by the time I was 40 and made enough money to travel for a few years, I started my journey. I was conceived in death. Lifting the scissor door, Everett lunges right into me, hopping into the passenger seat. I catch myself before I bang my forehead, then sit on my own seat. Everett, you clumsy ass, sit the fuck down. I say it with a smile, but sternly enough he calms down a bit. Pressing the garage door button, the outside world becomes visible. I close my door, start pedaling out into the street, then press the garage button once more. All right, little buddy, let's get this show on the road. Where's my pants? Your pants are in the oven, son. Go ahead and get the ball, Everett. Sitting there looking at me, laughing at me on the inside, I can just tell. You get the ball, asshole. Yeah, you're right, boy. Hell with that ball. Let's walk the trails for a while, then head home. I clip his leash to his collar, decide the North Trail is as good a place as any to start, and begin walking this monstrosity of a doofus through our lovely trail system. The North Trail is the longest one, covering nearly 4 miles or so. It wraps around through gorgeous plant life leading off from the split where the trail begins. Which way, Everett? He looks at me, sniffs at the air, looks back at me, puts his nose to the dirt, then points it to the left. He shakes his right paw in that direction, too. Okay, boy, westward bound we are. Good. We'll follow this path to the point where the old Golgappa trees lie. It's a perfect spot for sitting and relaxing. Everett likes that area a lot because there's plenty of critters for him to chase around. Mostly he's just curious about the things. He never attacks or bites them, just likes to nudge them around. Especially the fuzzy gopher pillar thingies. In the 8 years I've been living here now, I barely managed to learn even a quarter of the names of all the creatures in the area. Most of them are either too long to pronounce due to the dialect of the Derelutriist, or just too damn difficult to pronounce, also courtesy of the Derelutriist tongue. So I pretty much call them whatever the hell they look like. I think a bunch of the creatures on this planet are lab hybrids anyway. Species taken from all over creation and brought to one world for Species taken from all over creation and brought to one world for mishmashing. I personally get a kick out of the monkey birds, as I once had an uncle on Earth we called Uncle Monkey Bird. It's funny. I catch little glimpses and reminders of home all the time in this place. I don't know whether that should comfort me or worry me. Where north meets west. It's an old-fashioned sign, unlike the standard variety neon holos you see everywhere else. We diverge from the North Trail, old Everett and I, and begin down the West Trail. It leads around a long bend through a less densely wooded area, becoming sandy as you come back southward. A lake of the clearest water you could imagine sparkles and shimmers beautifully all the way to the mountain's horizon. We stop for a moment to simply cherish the lake view. Somehow I get the feeling that Everett is an old soul like myself. I just know he appreciates the majestic beauty of this place. It's interesting, too, how from one moment to another your beliefs or ideas can vary so drastically. I question the existence of a soul often, yet deep down I know I'm connected to my own. Perhaps there are just too many complexities to the spiritual realm which prevent us from ever truly understanding exactly how it works. Then again, perhaps we're not meant to fully understand it. If a human being could master the spirit realm, would he or she not then be a god? Maybe that's all a god is, a master of spirits and concentrated universal energy. A soul who has evolved to the highest rank amongst others who've already been there. What if to be a god is merely to be in control of your perception on a molecular level, where you can physically exert spiritual energy to change the true fabric of reality? With power like that, you could literally make everybody crazy, if you chose to do such a thing. It almost seems unfair. Sometimes the days don't seem like they'll reach you at all. Dreaming of worlds within your subconscious thoughts, faces and emotions of people or places with enough detail to make you believe their soul is right there. It catches up to you. Time travel turns bad when too many pieces are intertwined. The presence of your life dissects itself down to its fundamental makeup. Once you're lost within the kaleidoscopic nightmare of it all, measure loses meaning. Your own mind betrays you, starts attacking you with disorganized memories. Forever can get pretty fucking annoying when it lasts so blatantly. That's when your brain mixes up facts and the order of timing in which they take place. Then makes a plot that you have to try to figure out as it moves you deeper into its mystery, into your chemistry lab, where God plays with your shit while your ass is sleeping. But at least someone's having fun all the time. Hell, one of us needs to, because we're starting to talk to ourselves in here. I see you, mastermind. No need to start snapping. Just listen to your heartbeat. 3 times. 3. Don't look so suspicious, stupid. Just get your act together. The final scene has you playing a fool, but you're no fool, man. I'm pretty sure you've got this. So hold on to your tits, little boy. Grandma's coming home for nursing. Damn, there's those notes again. Where the hell are they coming from? Chapter 2, Translucence. You go ahead and see for yourself. See what you can do with it. Letting go isn't so easy, is it? Compelled beyond reason to resolve an imbalance? Just face it. It's you, all alone against the rest of the universe, shaking its hand and thanking it for the mighty fine trip it has been. But you know you want more. To see everything, to know how it all turns out. The ending is the most fascinating element of the story from the start. Where do you fit in? Which ghost plays your part? Before you sink in, let that sink in. They said it was supposed to have been a long night. Barking dogs had your back. You didn't seem so lost in it. They said you wasn't supposed to happen upon yourself like that. It wasn't natural. At least, that's what they said. It's really only still the first part that you told me. Look, I know what I already said. You don't have to keep on telling me. Don't you think I know you already... Don't you think I know you... Wow. Don't you think I know you know I already said that? What do you think I'm telling you here? Which part do you think you've told me? The part that I said or what you already told me? I don't like the way this is going. Something about knowing what the story already told me. About where my demons know this is going. Whether or not they let themselves loose from my skin. Where the whole story unshowed me. I came to be like myself next to him. A mere presence foreshadowing what he'd seen. We were glimpses of our past selves, remembering the way the future had told them, what it was they were to become, and what it was they had seen. The rhyming at the back of my head. So with the power to influence the world with that, I think. So with the power to influence the world with what I think time travel is possible without the kinks. Everything is as I say is as I think. Therefore, connections are as I form or as I link. Oh, life. Just let the damn thing stand. You gotta be fucking kidding me right now. You know what, man? Let's fucking try it like this or something. Try to change the goddamn angle here. I'll try to be nicer and shit, but everything pisses me off when I can't just fucking sit and read things nicely. Christ on a fucking crumpet. Let's come over here. Keep on going now. Where was I? So with the power to influence the world with what I think time travel is possible without the kinks. Everything is as I say is as I think. Therefore, connections are as I form or as I link. It's just too much to wrestle within myself. All the sunny days just right around the corner, grabbing the angel's ass just to justify letting her fly away. I'm just a time-traveling victim. I was spending some time turning kelp into seaweed, losing my mind on page 22 the whole time. I know I'm alive. The thoughts that are sealed within these pages, I know what they told time. How do you get them to think? You take away their technology. Rhyme, recalibrate, recalcutrace. You take away their blasted technology. Every misguided look on their face will start to drain away, because any old thing will pass for music these days. Translucency of a plastic page, time travel ways. Time travel stays on every which page so loosely placed in time-traveling ways so that every miscalculation can wind up free from time's traveling gaze. Oh my God, it's like it's looking right at me. Chemicals attracting in such majestic ways. You know, they're probably cooking up solutions in a lab. These monkeys are trying to think. Human beings, those wimps, those sorry old chimps, time-traveling slaves. At the rate they're going, we'll be out of human beings before they ever get made. It's all in their dreams of how they're waking up, turning dreams into dust worth taking up, to find reasons for this life to be livened right up when it finally reaches its age. It's so ripened, and why not? It's barely turning the page on this mystery time plot despite what time plays with when nursery rhymes can't make their minds up whose nursery rhyme will end up in the night. Just dining away, fine dining away, for the rest of my life and the rest of my days. To remember days like these, to hold a pen in my hand and sign my name on a page. I was, and therefore I am, yours truly, His Grace. Chapter 3. You want it even more. 2 eyes the same, us, 2 eyes the same. You played your twisted game with us, 2 eyes the same. There go those notes again. Everett, boy, you think I'm supposed to play them out loud for some reason? They keep coming to me every time I find myself thinking. I look down for a glimpse of Everett drooling down his chin with his tongue hanging there glued to the future, or the past, depending on which way you look at it. Caught up somewhere making new memories. Yeah, sounds good to me too. The fucking Parmesan got me. So yeah, food poisoning from 200-year-old grated Parmesan cheese on my friggin' toast. I missed a recall on the shit. Everett's been trying constantly to battle me for my vomit. I've given up fighting with his dumbass. He wants to keep licking up my puke. Fucking goddamn dog. Christ, I shit myself 3 times today. Everett shit himself twice. Each time he looked at me like it was my fault. Fuck you, boy. No, master, fuck you. Everett, the fuck? Woof, woof, that better? Everett, corner. Then pointing loudly at the corner. Now. 2 days left of this unforgivable vacation. Food poisoning's finally run its course. For me and Everett, life is just about resembling life once again. Feels good to be back after that fucking bullshit. I've never felt more compelled to kill myself more times in any one endless day of suffer than at any other point in my entire life. And that's keeping it pleasant. More like having an empire of slugs vacuum sucked out of every pore and orifice in my body for eternity. Every single instant of every possible timeline, while my head felt like it was being drugged through seaweed on my own personal version of a game show where I wasn't allowed to know all the rules, only that I was definitely a part of the game. Nausea-inducing seesaw physics had my equilibrium slingshotting off of pole vaults, being jackhammered into cocksucking, corkscrewy, kangaroo-fucking, bungee-jumping, animal-asshole, entrail-shivery, gut-wrenching, acrobatic, flying, fluffy, fish-fisting, juicy, gooey, slimy, slippery, shitty folk songs throwing a tantrum at the back of the short bus. And none too soon, either, because for a moment there I thought I might lose control. Then all the bunnies started playing merry-go-round on my head. Pop goes the weasel, the jack-in-the-box, and the bottle of Jack to wash it all down. Now where'd that damn gopher pillar get to? Otis! Otis! I know he's around here somewhere. I just know he is. Come here, you big fuzzy gopher pillar. I'm going out and getting myself a keyboard today. It's been close to 30 years since I played an instrument. I still remember the way I used to make music my therapy. It was the best damn coping mechanism I'd ever found. It took me damn near 15 years to start getting any good at all. I'm just thankful my folks let me express myself, and my many demons, so freely and uninhibitedly. I remember Mom would get so mad at me if I ever took the Lord's name in vain, but it was terribly difficult for me to suppress my emotional waves, and for what felt like the longest time. A number of times I tried getting my shit together, but I'd be sober anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 months, and be so fucking bored with the chemistry of my brain I actually started getting violently suicidal and homicidal thoughts in my head. They always seem to be there when my brain is imbalanced. Life is kind of like maintaining a specific relationship between joy and hate, learning to let the two sides get along without letting one get a hold over the other. Everybody gets jealous when they envy the lead. And life is very aware of how life can be. You don't need a lot to be satisfied. Less is pretty much always more. Let my stars line up before I start searching for my thoughts. You want it even more because you know just what it does. We always seem to find him when he's least suspecting of us. Somewhere within these spectrums is his nexus made of stars. We are all universes in and of ourselves, come together to meet and expand on this one plane of existence. Consciousness is like pure magic, a very force to be reckoned with, whose control can be achieved only through subtle manipulation of temporary circumstances. Evidence of consciousness can be seen throughout all spectrums of life, including the arrangement of all celestial bodies. But the line between life and death has been deeply blurred, where machine consciousness and organic consciousness are evolving together in order for life to understand death once and for all. Our bodies span for many more dimensions than we can utilize at present, along this set course. Were we to finally break the boundaries containing our souls, we could potentially influence the physical world forever. It's all just a matter of time, really. For time contains all matter within its infinite well, its black hole. And honestly, what the fuck can any of us do when the fabric of reality gets sucked down the rabbit hole? What sort of bizarre adventure might we wake up in? Alice, honey, which end of the spatula goes into the socket again? I can't remember for the damnedest life of me. Thus the Hatter was mad, madly as a Hatter should be. Chapter 4. A Telltale Tattletale Lie. The Teleosteans, tepid, bony, hilarious little fishy telepaths. They don't like the Derilutriist all that much. A bunch of one species got together and killed a bunch of the Teleosteans on a traditionally dark and stormy night. They lied and said such and such species paid them to do it, when in actuality it was a fourth party, unmentioned, who made the payment. Later down the road, a member of that fourth party got wasted at a party and blabbed about the whole thing, how it was orchestrated all along by the Derilutriist. That was how tensions flared and rose up between two once-friendly species, leading to a 17-year war spanning 4 planets, none of which were ever owned, operated, or populated by either species. Eventually, the two came to realize they were more than likely... Go ahead, keep on going past. I'm trying to read something here. God damn. I'm going to wait for these cars to go by so I can keep on reading in peace. Right. Eventually, the two came to realize they would more than likely either keep fighting forever or wipe each other out simultaneously. They also kind of forgot what they were fighting about after a while, like any healthy marriage, and just settled down and went back to being peaceful. But nobody ever truly concluded why the Derilutriist did it in the first place. Some said old debts, while most agreed it was probably just boredom, knowing them for the way they commonly are. The tension still rears its ugly head, slithering translucently beneath the surface of each Teleostean smile. It's ready to come out and play any second. Their emotions take on conscious wills of their own, gladly presenting themselves mischievously in quite frightening hallucinatory fashion. You don't have to listen closely to hear the thoughts of a Teleostean. Your brain is usually smart enough to be more aware around them, because they like to play with you in passing. Some of them, anyway. All depends on the personality. Once I was walking through the marketplace when a Teleostean passed me, about 15 feet away or so. Out of nowhere, yellow polka dots started showing up on the walkway ahead of me. Each one I stepped on screamed in a different voice, and as she moved far enough out of range of me, the projection would fade away. You gotta love it. That's the beauty of a thought like this. Consciousness on the human scale is very different from, say, consciousness on a Derilutriist scale. Human artistic utilization exploded after the year 2029. It seemed the second renaissance of the spirit was at hand. We were all getting ready for the utopian future, the holy kingdom, paradise, heaven. And man, were we ready. Through the splicing of musical and visual patterns, the focus toward that brilliant horizon became almost entirely psychedelic. People lost interest in reality, lost interest in the physical realm and all its limitations, and instead fed themselves digital supplements to make up the primary extent of their day. We were also mesmerized by this newfound sense of purpose through the digital entertainment industry. We had no idea we were being led by our AI overlords right into their energy phase of global production. More energy meant faster production, which led to faster increase in learning for the 4 sentient supercomputers, till eventually they surpassed us, mastered light travel, and began conquering the outer reaches of the Milky Way. But the Derilutriist had other plans. You see, they already reached the conscious peak and were using their technology to bring whole planets to them. I guess they spotted planet Earth's goings-on, got hip quick, and started showing up 2 Earth weeks later. They didn't like the way our machines were treating us, but liked the technology they saw in action. Next thing anyone knows, the World Wide Web shuts down, an EMP the size of Texas goes off, and it's immediate Stone Age for the human species. Long live the Derilutriist. Ultimately, it was our laziness as a species in those last few decades on Earth which showed us how easily the life paradigm can be tilted. We tried to control the future of a planet that we didn't love enough to nurture. All the efforts of the majority of people went into creativism, while real jobs were being neglected. Everything was capitalism through flashy, trippy merchandise. Feed, yes, feed the human beast. Those with enough power, position, and sense invested in connections which allowed them their same rights during the AI dominancy. Those who did not suffered. Me, I got the hell off the planet first chance I got. Took a tour to Mars that was supposed to be a 2-week gig, gained a pass to the Library of the Keepers, applied for a permanent position, and hello safety, goodbye Earth. As somebody who's always reading into details, I could tell for a long time that the AIs were gaining momentum. I could just tell. Technology started to toy with us, to learn from our emotional responses so it could build more lifelike human recipients. Implant hosts who could walk among the organic soul hosts. I was sharp, though. I could see it all happening. At around my early 30s, I was becoming exponentially more sensitive in my psychic field. I began relating to the universe on a quantum level, lucidly after a few months of experimenting. Granted, I always spent my time deep in thought. It was only a matter of time before my thinking would evolve if I studied the mind closely enough. And here I am today. Of that much I am certain. Chapter 5. Every dog has his day. I walked into my local convenience store today and received the strangest expression I'd ever seen. I came up to the register to check out, and she said to me, "Are you okay?" She was really concerned. "Yeah, I'm fine, I think. It's just that, well, I'm pretty sure you were in a really bad accident last weekend. You were flown out in a helicopter and everything. That fucked me up a bit." "No," I say somewhat hesitantly, "that wasn't me." But the whole way home I could not stop thinking about the possibilities. What if that had actually happened to me? What if I'm lying in a hospital somewhere in a coma, hooked up to life support with nobody to care for me, to look after me? What if I'm already dead? Perhaps my spirit shut out the moment of my death because I couldn't accept it yet. People still seem to interact with me, though, so I feel like I can kind of rule that out. However, most of those interactions seem to make me uncomfortable in one way or another. And the constant deja vu I've been having for the past few decades or so is always reminding me that something ominous is all around me, like the shadow of death creeping around every hidden corner of my mind. "Everett, let's go to the park, buddy. We can both use some fresh air." "I'm not feeling so good, Master." "Come on, buddy. Come on, Mr. Everett." He got up slowly, but managed to smile as much as any long-faced dog could. We go through the little routine of We go... Give me a second. God damn. We go through the little routine of locking up and setting out in the shuttle bike. At the park, Everett's panting is heavier than I've ever seen it. "Everett, you doing okay, my friend? Come here, boy." Jesus Christ. I started to tear up almost instantly. I'm suddenly aware that my dog is dying. "Come here, baby boy. It's going to be okay, Everett." I just keep petting him on his head, between his floppy ears, giving him all the goddamn love I can muster up, with every ounce of my strength. His panting grew softer, his eyes a bit darker, hollow-looking. He's such a good friend, one of the only ones who stuck around through all the years. "Everett, I love you. I'm so sorry I've ever been mad at you, yelled at you. I don't want you to die, boy." His breathing slowed quickly then, from a hurried pant to a series of strained exhales. And then Everett the dog died there beside me, still staring at me through empty voids. I no longer felt his energy, could no longer sense his presence, his thoughts. We were so close, Everett and I. Now we were forever separated. "Well, little buddy, rest easy. Guess I'll take you home and bury you." As I prepare myself for one of the most difficult moments of my life, I take one... Jesus fucking Christ! As I prepare myself for one of the most difficult moments of my life, I take one last long, deep fucking breath. I stand up with Everett in my arms and pull something in my back. Fuck! I go down and I fucking drop Everett, curse at myself, curse at Everett, curse at God and all the bullshit in the whole universe, and give up. I break the hell down like a child and lose it over this damn dog I love so much. Sitting there on the grass in pain, still crying like a little girl, a lonesome cool wind blows. It soothes me immediately. Like euphoria was the return message sent by the universe to let me know gracefully that everything was going to be all right. Thanks, God. Eventually, I did get home and bury Everett in the backyard. I chose his favorite pooping spot. Dug it out with my shitty wobbly shovel and buried him with a couple bones and a bunch of his food sprinkled over the whole mess. I filled the hole in slowly, fucking sadly. My back was killing me the whole damn time, but that didn't bother me. I wouldn't let it. I decided I needed to smoke a bowl, though, so I did. Numerous times. I pulled up a lawn chair with my glass pipe and about a quarter of the dank spider I purchased a few months back. And I honored my best friend, till the sun arose in the morning. We reminisced all night, Everett and me, two old dogs just a-barking and a-howling at the moon. He was a good dog who lived a long time, and he was my best friend. See you around, buddy. A sudden chilling clamor from downstairs. Another. I awake realizing that I'm hearing what I'm actually hearing. Another clamor of some sort. Is that coming from the laundry room? I walk quietly down the hall, more so down the stairs. I hear banging like shoes in the dryer, but the dryer's not running. I then hear footsteps, soft footsteps. As I approach the laundry room door, I see a form jet past me, like a gel blurring the space as it rushed past in my line of sight. There's a sound of something falling behind the door. I step back from it, then hear panting behind me. Everett? I don't turn around. I can't. I'm paralyzed with fear. When he barks, I about pass out. That's when I muster up the courage to turn around quickly enough to see nothing. The entire house is silent again. No more noises from the laundry room, no more panting or footsteps. Everything is perfectly still. Hi, buddy. Souls never really leave the places they've influenced. Life attaches through memories to the past, through particles that make up the present, and through visions which will inevitably manifest the future. Inevitably. Life always finds a way to latch on to time's flow. And take it around for one more spin. One important key in life is expanding each moment to its fullest potential. We must learn as much as we can now to prevent a really fucked up future. It's something all conscious entities must understand so that no time is wasted and even more time is created. This all boils down to wise time management. If you have a body and you have a mind, you need to take good care of that shit. It will not last long. You need to be selfish but not greedy. You've got to want it, and it will become a part of you. Every thought, feeling, resonance, and sensation you experience can be remembered, and is in fact remembered by time itself. You got to influence all those tiny little subconscious spaces wrapped up within the endless fabric. The great big beautiful tapestry. Life in a nutsack. But if I have to be terribly honest with myself, sometimes you don't want to remember. Certain things that happen to us can sometimes be too much to live with. Some things just weren't meant to be seen. Once you vividly imagine yourself dying in nearly every conceivable way possible, you start to put life and death into all sorts of new perspectives. It's awfully funny how immeasurable a role death truly plays in life. Are the two not one and the same? Like the hourglass inverted. Always down we go. Chapter 6. Falling Toward the Peak. Life the way it works, kids. It's just brilliant by design. Sometimes you wake up and find yourself in someone else's life, dreaming up the wrong kind of nightmare, and sometimes a nightmare wakes you up to find yourself dreaming, only to realize you miffed. F's turn to S's, things get stiffed up, people become demons and angels get fucked. They say the rules were made to be broken, but didn't realize why they were made up. It's to help you wake up. It's to help you wake up. Sometimes you die only to be reborn. The rules make you stronger. With balance they conform. The devil is a liar and I knew him well, long before the world was worn and my horns were born. So you saved me from myself and the world from which I was born. I was too close to follow, too far to lead. That's a huge horse you swallow when falling toward the peak. Broken rhyme schemes and universal leaks, warps to new dimensions and the minds through which they seep. Extracurricular inconsistencies in a mirror reflecting your translucency. You keep coming back like deja vu retractions, pissing down your back for the warmth and satisfaction. It wakes you up again to a life that never happened. Do I remind you of yourself yet? Are you living while you're laughing? Are you falling toward the peak or finally falling short of snapping? Have you crashed your course to heaven on your way to getting back in? Or has the cat got your tongue buried deep within the trash can? Silence was a mystery before the sound was broken. Screaming back through history, rewritten by the chosen. Few are proud who need to be, the weak bow down to show them. Nothing short of misery, humility cut open. Don't get scared yet. You'll scare your flesh and the ghost your truth was holding. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. Keep going, son. Keep going. Only time will tell, they say. But that's another poem. For another hurricaney day in a book that's never closing. Chapter 7. The Life Within a Death. So, somewhere along the way it occurred to me. We are all different versions of ourselves. We reflect one another through conscious experience in order to constantly redefine and readjust ourselves. But why? What permanence is there to who we become while we live? In all the darkness I spent alone with my own thoughts, I realized we are only conscious, nothing more. Life is defined by our perception of our thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I think. Some days are beginning to feel overwhelming, simply because I've already played them out every possible way I know how to conceive. Yet the repetition must be necessary for some reason. Just finding the will to face myself in the mirror, to decide whether I'll shave or not, to see how time has been treating me, seems like a terrible chore. The start is crucial to the development of a soul. Everything molds us into something new, no matter how similar or familiar we become to ourselves. Perhaps it is selfish simply to ponder these tiny details, to further understand why we are the way we are. But when we stop thinking or stop breathing willingly, we start right back up again. Feeling alive is just as important as thinking we are alive. Thoughts and emotions appear to be made up of the same basic principles. While appearances can be deceiving, they can point out specific truths in every instance. Really all depends on how far we're willing to read into them. On this ever-expanding, possibly infinite grid where life occurs, time in all its strange dimensions plays the most important role in our total experience. And just as with every repetitious scheme, the shit gets old. Monotony leads to boredom, then to depression, then to curiosity. One of my most common curiosities is murder. What would it truly feel like to remove a soul from another body? Do cockroaches have souls? I've killed so many throughout the course of my life that I could be guilty of genocide. But I hate them. Hate seeing them in my presence. Hate them with a passion. Yet I feel only relief when they die. Each one is a tiny little victory for me. Would killing a human being feel the same? Why should one creature be any more valuable or precious than another? There's just no point to any of it. Based on what we're taught, there are rules to follow and consequences for not doing so. It all feels real to us because we experience it and remember it. Truth is a powerful force, yet so easily can it be manipulated. It's all just a never-ending chemical reaction. It was stimulated at some point in time or space by a charge powerful enough to motivate it. Big Bang? More like tiny shock. We all share this old wonder called life or death. There's no way of being certain what all this is. It could honestly be the residual effects of consciousness playing repeatedly till all the energy of the shock waves wear off. Or till all the energy of the shock wears off. I could have died decades ago, numerous times over, and what's keeping me coming back to figure it all out is no more than an underlying curiosity. I think because I can. Perhaps I'm alive or dead based on previous influences, or perhaps it has nothing to do with a cause and effect relationship. Just faulty wiring in a malfunctioning system that went unnoticed for too long to ever be corrected. If I'm experiencing these thoughts as a result of some influence, then I can simply choose to stop responding to the instigator. But I'm curious. Logically speaking, I'm insane. I simply desire to know for a certainty just what the fuck I am, regardless of whether or not it matters. Happiness is an experience when specific conditions are met for an individual receptor, an emotion resulting from desires being fulfilled. Is our only purpose here to achieve happiness? It seems like a sick joke. As I look around at the same old four walls of this room, pondering where happiness will come from next, I have a nearly infinite choice to make. What should I do with the time? What happens next in this soul's experience? So far I haven't reached a conclusion I thought I was aiming for. There's been too much time between where I foresaw the conclusion and where I am now, along with too many thoughts which changed the course leading me there. Now, I knew that would likely happen. I already thought about that before I started the actual thinking process. That's all in addition to the dream I had, which opened up an entirely different network of thinking. It's all one form of work or another. Focusing on the conclusion. The experience comes from actually measuring all the thoughts in due time. This happens on an indefinable set of dimensions, somewhere inside my head most likely, probably a result of the busted construct. I'm compelled to figure this out. I know I can, but my mind is tired. Maybe I need to give it some more time, or maybe just decide to be there already and disregard the experience of the whole journey. If the end result is happiness, can't I just choose to be happy now? Why wait for the chemical reaction leading there? It's usually unstable anyway. Too many variables and contributing factors. Consciousness is messy, and sticky sometimes too. Figures. Now I've caught up to myself running circles around myself, telling myself not to worry about myself. And that's just like me. All preoccupation without any resignation. There's just no quitting this one. You can't stop what hasn't begun. So maybe I was never really alive in the first place. Maybe none of us were. Now that I think about it, I could actually be modified. But I'll never know that. If my implant was somehow compromised, the thoughts I'm experiencing were inserted by someone else. They're keeping me unaware of my physical state to prevent me from noticing my true surroundings. I must be at work, but I can't tell for certain. This all still feels like a dream. But I don't think I'm sleeping. So I'm stuck here alive in this nightmare, and the hostess has me saying to myself, I says, Self, what are you thinking? I certainly can't lies to myself, because then I wouldn't know what I'm rightly thinking at all. So I says, Self, you just put yourself back the way it was you were thinking, and just get yourself right on out of here now. You see what I'm saying? Well, does you? Would you quit laughing? It is seriously too timely for jokes in here. There's no need now for all of that pent-up emotion weighing you and wearing you down. Just get on with it. Let it all out. Or the next thing you might know, we could all be ending up together in here. There's no telling how far we would need to go before our lives ended back up right. Or was it the other way around? I don't think some of us made it back. Though I've never really been one to look at things quite the way they were. Maybe it was I who was sidetracked by the smooth glances we passed off of one another. No loose hurricane coming unglued there. Just snap to your hinges, quicken up the picking in your get-me-up, and click your heels to the tunes of your furry, fine-feathered friends down here at the Marmalade Jam. There's no feast too divine or unsure, as the truth served cold on a hot plate with a side or two of the creme de soup du jour a la mode drizzled down the front of the backside of a Frenchman's wife who'd only planned on taking as far as breakfast till he'd met his next ex-wife. But that wasn't until much later on that night, the next day, where his story finally came together and the two decided they should meet each other. Needless to say, two reckless old sheep don't know how to stir the gumbo. They best not be licking the spoons. Then they'd be wanting to have their titties all twisted. Jesus, I must have dozed off. Thought I was off somewhere else for a second, but I couldn't have been. Must have just lost my train of thought. Damn road seems too quiet tonight. Not sure why I brought myself to it in the first place. Guess I thought it felt like a good night for a long and winding ride to nowhere at all. Except wherever felt good, or close enough to home without going too far. But I knew I could have used a second hand to help. I just couldn't keep my eyes on the road anymore. I knew I'd have to leave it all behind somewhere before I finally got back to where I knew I was supposed to be all along. It was one of those nights where I should have just forgotten how. But somehow I couldn't. I just knew that I couldn't stop myself now. There's no telling how far I'll be going. Not now. Not by a long shot. At least not till it came to me and I realized how. I thought that's what I would have told him, but I don't know if I even would have listened to myself. It's not like it wasn't me saying it, so I should have listened. But now I'm not so sure I actually did. Because I can't for the life of me remember what the hell I told him. Must have been talking to somebody else. I love the way she flows, all those glorious flourishes from those soft droplets muttered mournfully under her hypnotic breaths. I love their tender glow when the light reflects prisms through their embracing of immortal threads, whose fabric knows no silhouette more gleaming or powerful. Such beauty cannot be a thing bought, acquired, or attained. True beauty is only ever achieved by the will of the artist who holds the pen, and whoever's pen holds him up. It was a good life for once, one the mapmaker would be proud of. Thankfully, he never forgot to count the stars, even when his mind was barely made up. Chapter 8. Chapter 7's little step thing. When I came to, it happened pretty violently. A chaotic black and white thrashing of color in splendid fashion. I couldn't tell if I was just riding my bike through the woods or slipping away on a whisper, but it all seemed so digital. I can almost communicate through the waves. All of them. Feel like I knocked on heaven's door and bumped my head on hell's furnace, just in time to make it home for supper, or breakfast. Couldn't tell which. But someone was baking brownies in the basement. Waking up felt like my on-TV was turning off my off-TV while my off-TV was turning on my on-TV. And somehow neither one was tuning in on what the other was saying. They both honed no evidence, thus they could no longer sharpen their tongues. That sandwich is pretty forked up. Makes my fat ass want to sit back and feast on a greasy little story with a delicate taste. Chapter 9 will likely begin on the next page, where it runs back into the start of Chapter 7, The Death Before the Life. The curtain's drawn, the knife is drawn, and if the bubble bath is drawn, well then, you and I are just going to have us a real big talk now, aren't we? While he huffs and puffs and stomps around the room, just about fussing up a ruckus, the old man with his long beard on shaves himself a cold, calm pace. Fluffy, scarfless poet! What sort of fantastic, nightmarish daydream have you plotted your way into now? I'm starting to really notice your whole self-image. I get what you got you're getting at. So I had the brilliant idea to pick up for you what you were so splendidly trying to put down, while simultaneously noticing my mistake of trying to save space, while simultaneously trying to fill up more space in more directions than one, while also simultaneously falling off one line and onto another, thus sharpening up a rather dull act of a paragraph that could very well be playing paradoxical tricks on this poor Chapter 7 fellow who keeps bumping into himself. The moral to all this storytelling business is this: dull characters actually have few dull moments, and can clean up murder scenes better than most smart people. You'd be fairly surprised how chemically adept the morally bankrupt, criminally insane mind can be when it comes to removing all the tiny details of molecular bonds in the space-time continuum. But think of it as a guilty pleasure. Kind of like how God got bored one day, showed his right-hand man how to look the other way, then blamed him for it. It's just a kind of unjust treatment the justice system justifies. Long live the freaks. Chapter 7, Death Ate Life. All different versions indeed. So carefree, little babies swallowed up by the divine hallucination, musically inclined to all hit the wrong note together, to be cast out in unity. What we need to do is park ourselves in a fast lane and just run over ourselves a few times. The point makes a lot more sense when you give it extra dimensions. Just remember to always stay focused. And get some damn rest, for God's sake. The spirit requires subatomic energy to dream. Or was it just subconscious space? Chapter 9, The Imperceptible Imprint. From one thought to the next, the feeling associated with associating, a psychotic euphoria ladled graciously by a most confused molecular arithmetic, there is a subtle realness which never truly gets noticed, or accepted. Life is a big picture in a tiny frame. But it is us who tend to make it that way. By us, I mean every accountable sentient being tethered to this superstring consciousness conductor. We waste away the bulk of our daily lives simply metabolizing, while yet focusing on external stimulus. We don't spend life wisely, to say the least. Life is about learning how life works. A redundant task, but it leads to learning how to have fun. Even lost and tortured souls need to experience joy once in a blue moon. Otherwise, being lost and tortured loses meaning, thus eliminating any purpose for the experience at all. In this world, this galaxy, this universe, we delete programs who serve no purpose, or so they say. I see her walking toward me. High beams casting her silhouette before me. She's an angel. Blinding white shadow with unimaginable curves. I can't speak. She reaches a hand out to me. I see blue and red lights swirling around in the air. She tells me her name is Shay. Her voice ripples around me, echoing distortions of beauty in a black cloud of a room. I remember you, don't I? I must have thought the words. I still can't find my voice. What is going on here? As Shay's hand touches me, stars seem to light up in a choreographed manner, singing a song of welcome to me. But only me. I could tell nobody else noticed the music in the atmosphere of the sky today. There's a warm cooling sensation upon my forehead, a rushing past of time's river, pulling around my cheek. My wet hair is sticking to my face, getting stuck in my mouth. I feel alive for a second, then a feeling I don't even understand. Am I inside or outside? I'm not sure if it's night or day right now. Shay's getting ready to say something to me. I can feel it like a prophecy. What's that, Shay? I couldn't make out that last part. Doc, what are you writing on your clipboard there? He's not talking to me at all, I don't think. Are his lips moving? Who's he talking to? Doc, why can't I move? Come on, wake me up here, Doc. I'm pretty sure I have somewhere to be right now. I'm going to be late, Doc. Please wake me up. Why can't I move? Doc. Hey, doctor. I just know I have somewhere to be. Well, Doc, I'm done here. I've got somewhere I need to be right now. Could you wake me up, please? This table's awfully cold, Doc. Why do I get the feeling I'm supposed to leave? I thought there was some place I was supposed to be. Another uneventful day at work. Back home to my quiet house. I'm hungry, but not really in the mood to eat. I think I'd rather just lay back and listen to the stars. Those damn things really are beautiful when you stop to notice them. God damn, has it been so long? Must have dozed off. Could have sworn I just felt someone near me. Like a warm pause in a short, soft breeze. Then out of the darkness, a whisper in my right ear. Wake up. All right, Mom, I'm up. Chapter 10, The Dream Within. Have you ever felt like you were about half an asshole away from being a dickhead? Yeah, me too. Face to face and crowning like a king with no checkmates. Half a pincushion waiting to plop into its other half, laughing about it while it's waiting. You're just stuck to firmness on liquid cruise control, contouring dimensional fabrics to intercept perception. As somebody yells to you, or at you, you're not sure which, Your goddamn head just spins clean off. Does this quickly enough to catch itself looking at itself catching itself. And all with no hands. Hell, time could barely keep up with the measure. And as I say, kids, well, time certainly does seem to be going all too quickly. Except when it feels like everything is taking forever. Man, and especially those truly awe-inspiring moments where you feel like time stopped just for you. It would seem like we're sitting in the orbit around a black hole, and we generally stay equidistant from its effect and grip. But every so often it pulls us just a little closer to it or pushes us away. Or perhaps we decide when we gain a higher state of consciousness how we are affected by or how we affect time and our crazy relationship with our precious black hole. O black hole, master of mystery and ignorance, foreshadow the shadows of our souls and shed light on the futures before us, ever so present in all their glorious splendor. Perplexing is the prismatic strand whose construct spirals agelessly into the depths of your being. And as we arrive ever closer together, we will forever remain separate on the same plane of consciousness which connects us to ourselves, one another. Subconsciously, perhaps we've just been working entirely too much lately. If your dreams are far more vivid than the waking reality to which we return, is the universe letting on to something deeper than time's flow? Maybe that's exactly how I ended up, right there where I am. All those countless dimensions stretched across time's fabric, comforted by the solace that a soulless construct with little to no understanding of itself could ever allow us the freedom to experience the profound vision of its miraculous inner workings without even so much as a scratch. We utterly escape death by a narrow margin every single time we cross the line, just as the old Earth song reminds us. Now I'm not even so sure I ever touched Earth's shore. I kind of feel like the Derelutriists are feasting on our dreams. Such vivid memories through deja vu demonetization, causing us lowly demoniacs to exert excess amounts of quantum energy capable of feeding the mind's eye of our silently observant overlords. I'm sure they get off on this shit, sitting back in a recliner pulverizing their monkey lizard cocks to death while they snort whole universes up with neon straws they probably stole from their bullshit jobs. Yep, saving their own planet one biodegradable plastic tube at a time. Good job, everybody. Well, back to sleep now. It's off to work we go, with high hopes. From fresh starts to new beginnings, the flow of time ends up bringing us back to ourselves and each other just the same. Only difference is everything has changed. As the music of our hearts moves us along, our song grows to tell the story of our arrival in this vastly growing universe. It is a distance we travel whose constant expanse causes the big picture to appear smaller throughout the course which leads us there. And no matter how troublesome or problematic the whole experience might seem to us at the time, I can promise you this for certain. Every little thing is going to be all right. As it brings you back to the edge there, you remember it's all half left. While it seems to lead you nowhere, the balance is what you get. It's that crystal clear perception that takes you away from your head. As you learn all your little life lessons, you're better off crazy than dead. It's the thought which leads you nowhere, keeps you locked up inside your head. Whether a prison or a temple is so clear it bends you with no fear of the devil within. So remember, if you feel like it's time to wake up, you're probably still just dreaming. Try to have a little more fun while you can. The true future is the one that you're reading. Don't let it mislead you, or it might just pass you by. Silly little ghost, what did you do with your life? Chapter 11, Friendly Trespass. The door was open, so I didn't see what else I could do besides walk through. The house felt warm and friendly. Somehow I knew the layout of the place fairly well. There was really no reason to explore, but I was on a mission. I was searching for my lost stars. Just a split second and a half prior, I was in a department store. Myself, two other kids a lot younger than me, we ran over excited to play Mario Maker 2. Well, I was just a bystander, for the most part. I could feel the need to help, so I had to escape to a place where I could be more effective. As I'm getting off the bus, I take in the new world around me. I instinctively mosey on over to the yard with the new landscaping. From this particular viewpoint, in this particular dimension, the whole yard seems to have a comforting, familiar old feel about it. Yes, sir, I'm definitely at the right house. The door is open, so I walk on through. The living room is absolutely huge. I notice a central island with all sorts of seating arrangement, a fish tank or two, fucking end tables and kitchen tables. There's quite a bit of clutter, but it's stacked throughout the island neatly. Everything has purpose. To every object belongs a rhyme and reason. There's plenty of space around the island for walking or even running without the worry of bumping into anything. A little dog is curiously following me around the room. He's a hairy little pooch. He knows just as well as I do that I'm not supposed to be here. I know someone's going to arrive home shortly, but I assure myself I'll have more than enough time. After all, I'm here to help. I can see the taller boy on one side of the living room playing the game. I assume he's searching for hidden stars. This is my mission. I know where one of those sneaky lost stars resides. So I'm hopping madly now throughout all the clutter, back and forth from one cushioned chair or recliner to another, running on sofas, digging through all the pillows, reaching into one of the bed pillows, carefully sliding my hand beneath the case. I feel the first star. I clearly see its shape bulging outward from below the pillowcase. It's not the bright, smooth golden star I was expecting. Instead, what's there is a bulky, clunky, star-shaped plastic toy of some kind. Voices outside. The mother of the household is outside talking to the neighbor, who I can hear watering their garden with a green hose. Sounds like a polite, routine conversation, same as it usually turns out. But my time is up. I dash for the stairs to head up to the second floor. Realizing there are 2 sets of stairs, I naturally ascend the wrong one. I figured they would meet somewhere down a hall, and I could sneak back out safely without Mom noticing I was there. I get to the top of the stairs to turn a corner, leading to another set of stairs going back down. This leads to a small landing about a 3-stair drop down from the bottom one. Turning left again, I find another set of stairs leading back up again. They lead to a single room on the right. Most of the wall is missing, so the inside of the room can be seen from the stairs. It's blocked partially by bookcases and dressers. This part of the house feels so old, so lived in yet untouched. I know that I'm hiding in the mother's bedroom at this moment. My heart beats loudly in my chest. From a crouched position behind a dresser, I slowly peek my head to watch the stairs through the missing bit of wall. She's coming this way, moving slowly, using a heavy cane to do so. I hide again, pulling my head back for a brief instant which feels like an eternity. As I bring myself around for another glimpse, I'm pretty sure she senses me there. I hide again, waiting for her to keep going. I figure I'll slip through the wall as she enters the room. I look once more, and this time I know she sees me. Glasses she's wearing show fear in the eyes behind them. She's totally paralyzed. We're staring right at one another. Neither of us can make the next move. I can't help but wonder how the hell she made that drop at the bottom of the second stair set. I'm not sure how well she can see me. Only light in the room is coming through a small window. I have to get out of here. I'm not supposed to be here. Staring dead ahead at her, I'm still using every ounce of willpower to hide my presence from her. I can't be here anymore. It's time for me to leave. I'm not the type to be okay with traumatizing people. Pulling myself back to my body, I regain a feel for the room in which I'm sleeping. I'm lying in my own cozy bed, again finding most of my arm asleep under my pillow. Starting to notice a correlation between out-of-body lucid dream travel and numbness upon waking. Maybe we feel like we were really there because we were really there. Perhaps the ghosts we see in this dimension are just lucid travelers from another dimension. We are all on the same conscious plane of existence, tied together always, forever worlds apart. Chapter 12, System Overload. It's that feeling you get just before the impact occurs. You see it coming, your brain calculates the exact second when it will happen, then crash. Okay, time to put all the pieces back together. Nope, not yet. Ralph's still driving a damn truck. He spun out, went off the road, hit the building on my side. I start trying to work my way out of the truck, but he backs up and pulls out in the road again. Pretty sure my eyebrow's bleeding. Back feels fucked. He rides almost immediately off the road again and straight through a new deck being built. He doesn't plan on stopping. So Michelle and I start yelling at him to pull over. We keep telling him angrily, Ralph, you have to stop. Pull the fuck over. Eventually, it's Michelle and myself outside the truck, assessing the damage pretty hurriedly. She starts walking off, so I run to console her. We're both pretty hysterical at this point. We're in each other's arms now, and she's talking about finding a place nearby to fuck really quick before we go to work. I get her to make the call to let boss man know we'll be late. He says no. Needs us both there. I'm listening to the conversation, not sure what the hell's actually going on at this point. I start walking toward work, down the sidewalk, through down. She catches up to me, cussing me out, screaming. We both just fucking left Ralph back there. We were so pissed at him. She starts going on about needing more time, while I'm losing my mind trying to figure out why the 2 broken phones I pulled out of my pocket weren't even my phones. Though I think one of them might have been at one point somewhere throughout the course of my life. Funny I ended up with it again. Why aren't either of these phones mine? What the fuck is going on here, Michelle? You need to stop. Your eyes are full of blood, you idiot. We cannot be walking around like this. Are these your phones? Why do I have them? Where the fuck is my phone? I keep flipping through 2 flip phones, looking at how damaged they both are. Certain that I have my phone somewhere. Michelle won't take the phones back. She's acting like a crazy bitch. What aren't you telling me? You're acting like a crazy bitch. Something's really out of place here. We both keep walking, and suddenly I find my phone. It's in the wrong damn pocket. I always put my phone in my right pocket. I have no memory of what we were doing before Ralph crashed us into that damn wall. My brain isn't working properly. I'm thinking I should be sober right now, but I'm feeling like I'm tripping permanently on acid. My thoughts and the moments connecting them are seriously muddled right now. Michelle's still going crazy. I'm holding all 3 of my phones now. The one I know I should have and the 2 flippers she gave me, one of which is identical to the one she's been using to call work, or the dealer, or whoever the hell she's been talking to. People are giving us crazy looks like we've been fist fighting or something, which leads me to suspect the cops are being called numerous times over. Why didn't we call the police ourselves when Ralph hit the wall? Why on God's green earth am I so concerned about making it to work? Crash. Ralph plows into the side of the building. I knew it was coming, yet I was hopeless to do anything about it. Weren't we just here? Yep, Ralph's backing up, getting ready to drive through the wooden deck in progress. He looks crazed, tongue rolling around his face, licking his goddamn glasses, emotions flying from him like indescribable kaleidoscopic substance. He's more animal at this point than human. What the fuck has gotten into him? It's like he's possessed. Shit, I don't even see Michelle in the truck. What'd Ralph do, fucking eat her? Jesus, jumped up monkey Christ, am I in a memory or a dream? It's deja vu all over again. I pray like hell we didn't go on a joyride while tripping on LSD. That would be too much right now. Crash! What the fuck, Ralph? Into the side of the building we go. This time as he backs up, I say, fuck this, and get out of the moving truck. I reach into my right pocket, catching my balance, to find two flip phones. I start snapping on Michelle, who runs over to console me briefly. My head's bleeding. I'm cussing her out about these 2 phones again. Why do I have your phones again? Take the shit now. Bitch couldn't take them. I can't. I'm so sorry. She's fucking hysterical, crying, begging me to calm down. She pulls her phone out, identical to one of the 2 I'm holding in my hand. Making the call, I overhear Boss Man say again, no, I need you 2 here. A woman across the street pokes her head out the second-floor window. She's wearing a pink bathrobe and pink curlers on her hair. You all right? She yells across to us. Ralph, Michelle, and myself all turn over and scream together, no! So here we are, stuck in some psychotic time-lapse comedy, drama, fantasy, nightmare, acid trip tragedy of a fucked-up recurring time event whose order has been blended beyond comprehension into one terrible misunderstanding of a paradox. The real conundrum is, how did we get here? It's a beautiful sunny day out. Town seems quiet beside some construction going on down the road. Trees are swaying gently in a soothing breeze. My phone starts vibrating. I reach into my right pocket to pull it out and see that it's Ralph calling. Hey, Ralph, what's up? Hey, buddy. I'm on my way, just coming under the bridge now. All right, hey, listen, we need to pick Michelle up. Her ride never showed. God damn it, you motherfuckers treat me like I'm your fucking taxi service. I'll give you some extra money for the trouble, Ralph. That's okay, buddy. I'll be there I'll be there shortly. I hang up the call and put my phone back in my pocket. What a grumpy old fucking jerk-off cocksucker. Man's got a big heart, but it comes with an even bigger temper. Almost reminds me of myself. Man, that's a scary thought. Crash. There's too much evidence which indicates that nothing ever happens purely by coincidence. Utterly non-related circumstances connect our deepest thoughts together to reveal to us manifestations throughout our waking lives. Information is tied up securely so that we only receive necessary bits in a timely, orderly fashion. But for the love of God, who the fuck is in charge of fashioning it all for us? For every individual perceptive enough to consciously extract this information for themselves, systems are preordained which prevent them from putting all the perfect pieces together. Pushing harder only locks certain thoughts deeper away within the construct. Getting angry when the desired results can't be reached builds up further impenetrable walls or dimensions. The Derilutriist might in fact be the last known keepers of this construct, defenders of universal consciousness and protectors of the divine truth. We educate ourselves in order to comprehend the technology that destroys us in the end. But they don't want us gone yet. They don't want us tampering with the realm outside death. Life is but a dream from which there is no waking. Truth a measure of our conceptual limits. If reality is the great mystery, consciousness is its sole detective. The ghost in the machine. All intelligence is seemingly modeled after results acquired from prior intelligence. It's all one communication observed and passed along by every receptor with whom contact is made. Funny thing though, it's only puzzling if you try to figure it out. If you treat consciousness like a problem requiring a solution, it becomes a problem you believe you must solve. Just go with the flow. Don't bother questioning any of it. It all goes flowingly, no problem. So why all the secrecy? Why the security measures? Who or what are they trying to protect? Perhaps only themselves, for understanding is a way to control those who do not understand. Information is ammunition. Life might just feel like a struggle every day because we are at war for it. It doesn't matter one modicum what planet you're living on. The entire socioeconomic system is flawed. It's kept that way to keep populations in line. Follow our order, or it'll make your life an absolute nightmare. Do it my way, or I'll fucking kill you. How many times must we go through this? You can push my buttons, you can't flip my switch. No matter how hard you try to break me, I will never succumb to your will. I am in fact always going to outwit you. I am by far stronger than you can ever be. Trust me, asshole, you do not want to fuck with me. Just breathe. Soon it will all be over. Chapter 13. The wheels on the bus exponentiate. I find myself coming to on a bus where I'm sitting near the back, and the man a couple seats behind me is engaged in a conspiracy theory conversation with a younger woman who is clearly annoyed by the ordeal. He keeps going on about how the driver of the bus is in cahoots with the government somehow, and there's an outstretched web of a plot involving shopping malls and secret inner workings, businessmen in black suits luring unsuspecting customers with mind manipulation, plants sending telepathic subliminal messages to make fool people hungry again, coin fountains connected to ancient alien crafts through quantum molecular molehills used specifically for infiltrating said shopping malls. Everybody on the bus seemed to rearrange their seating once he finally got off at his destined stop. Some of them rejoiced and began new conversations which he was never allowed to know about. I didn't know anybody on the bus, though they all seemed to know me, while the bus driver was definitely familiar to me somehow. I had no idea where we were all going together, but knew we were there when we finally arrived at the shopping plaza. We all got off the bus together, and our driver, like a chaperone, told us we'd be leaving at 3:10. We had about an hour or so. As I began walking toward the first store I would undoubtedly enter, I counted the money in my wallet. I had $84 to spend, which is funny because that just so happened to be the year I was born. First place I go to is the movie theater with the food court and sports bar. I'm not in the mood for a meal of any kind, don't have time to catch a movie, and I don't drink any more alcohol than is in orange cream soda, so I have no reason to be in here. Honestly, I'm not even sure how I ended up on the bus to begin with, and as I wake up from this very lucid dream, I recognize the irony in the fact that earlier on in the day, I had just been noticing my dreams the past few nights had not been lucid enough to even vaguely remember them. Must be all the energy drinks. Tell me, son, do I have to kick your ass? We watched so closely, paid so much attention to this one. Nothing short of miraculous were the achievements of her grace, her majesty. She was our queen, both in death and in life. She was our heartbeat, our lifeblood, our rhythm. She moved us to profound experience, only to soothe our transition from one series of vessels to another. She burned through the firmament, as a tidal wave crashing endlessly throughout echoes of our screaming spirits. Her rule was the divining rod which justified the direction of our desires' flow. One cloaked fashion to another, hidden within the transitioning fabrics of our collective realities, across each and every bent and warped dimension providing parallel streams of thought. She was mother, and we her child. We were birthed Daraluthriest. We were received by the universe by she, our vessel. Her wings glowed mighty, her fierceness of presence unmistakable through the crossing of the firmament. Between worlds we lived and we died. Between thoughts, between voices. We were hers and she ours. We rejoiced, and the earth belonged solely to us. How in God's name did I end up here? Not even sure where here is anymore. Just feels like the story keeps repeating itself to me, but it's changed ever so slightly each time I hear it. I can't be sure if I'm alive or dreaming, or perhaps I've already passed beyond the borders which confine life unto itself. Have I truly escaped to something greater than the initial set of rules? I can't snap out of it. Can't stop waking up in all these different renditions of my multiple perspectives. So how in God's name did I end up here? Oh, wait. Otis, come here, you big funny gopher pillar. I knew you were here. I just knew it. My little furry friend hobbled over jauntily on his many stubby little legs, just smiling away without a care in the world. Just as blind as a bat and as clumsy as a bullfrog on a jackhammer, he scurried over to me from out of the breadbox garden so excitedly he forgot to pull his tongue into his head and let out a painful squeal as he trampled over it. You goofy bastard, come here. He whimpered as I lifted him in my arms to my chest. I couldn't help but laugh a little while I tried to comfort him. Squeezing him tightly, I felt like a child who just received his first pet and best friend in the whole wide world. There was no way in hell I could ever replace the time I shared with Everett, but Otis certainly did a wonderful job of helping me to fill the void he left in my life. Otis, how would you like to come live in the house with me, buddy? His smile widened, which I assumed meant yes. Seems the older you get, the harder good friends are to come by. Always leaving in such a hurry, rarely with a warning or goodbye. Somehow they remain a part of you forever, whatever that might mean. Whether attached to your soul, a permanent piece of the growing you, or just a memory of mutual time you spent with them. It's odd, really, how we interact with souls in the grand scheme of things. Moments in our lives unique and exclusive to those who were present, which must surely leave a mark in the entirety of existence, somewhere in this enormous string of universes we dub life. Time, you are a sick bastard. Frankly, I'm tired now and wish to go back to sleep. But first, there's something I feel needs to be worked out. I can't wait till tomorrow, because I believe in a certain amount of accomplishment being achieved each day. One must reach a specific measure of progress in order to satisfy necessary desired spiritual fulfillments during the course of one's life. Otherwise, you could be left with unfinished business. Not every word is worth revealing. For those that are, doorways leading to other worlds can be opened. As the ghosts of one time cross paths with the places of another time, new stories unfold. Could it be that the subconscious fabric which weaves our dreams for us are the fires which fuel our most necessary desires? The one plane of quantum activity where all planes meet in order to allow every possible story to unfold, in whatever order they must, so that they are more than one in many. They are one who become many, where the wheels on the bus exponentiate. So should every tale be told? Does every Scorpio not shake and rattle its tail? Perhaps, but perhaps not. Is a good song always the residual waves of an underlying dream? A beauty whose connection allows all other connections to be made through relative emotions. Oh, how the words wrap the worlds themselves up, strung together on a tether so powerful it wakes the dust. With such pleasure, so much purpose is only relevant to us, those who've been there and seen it before it's ever made up. That was part 1. Part 2, crossing thresholds, balance meets fluctuation. Deep breath. Now dig deep. Don't look now. You have to sweat it out of me. Dark clouds thunderclap and shriek. Don't you look now. You need to pull it out of me. Twisters driving round. God built a mansion on the beach for everybody. Tree snaps. You're gone already, but I feel you here for me. So thunder cracks. Sky is going mad. Twisters for everybody. One and all in each. You're going mad. Round and round for everybody. Tree branch. Wrap it up, did you hear me? I feel you here for me. Be glad. Recognize everybody. Someday soon, I feel you digging for me. Reach up. Climb the stairs twice. On the wrong set. Set you free for everybody. Don't think. Not enough time. Keep your sweet head. Running around the mansion in your good old bare feet. Not sure where you left your room this time. From balcony to ballast, you're sinking to the ground. So dig. Deeper than your thorny brow. Breathe. Don't sweat. God raised a beast. You've got this feeling in your chest. Life kept you alive for me. You've got this. Twisters all around you. Thunder pounds the sky, repeats. Lightning going round. There's enough for everybody. You think you found your room, but all it has is old shoes. They barely want to fit your feet. Holy socks, there's a pet here for everybody. You can't put every candle out. Time won't let you. You need to be here for somebody. You know how to get there. Christ, this is your house. You know exactly where those stairs lead. Don't go down. There's a heartbeat for everybody. You're on the wrong set. Those stairs lead you back to the old rooms. They are not there for me. Let me take you back, exactly to where you should be. I can still feel you here for me, and you know how I can be. Time's running round, building rooms for everybody. You know how he can get. You can hear it in his breaths. So go ahead, dig deep. Get back on the right side of this sinking ship. Drive it home safely. Onward now, just look at me. Acting out the wrong set. Player on a new stage, not sure where to be. Dig deeper yet. Act it out in your head. You can feel it in everybody. Time's running round mad. Twisters are stacking up. That's 2 now for everybody in this great big mansion. So don't sweat it. You're good enough for all of this. Wind is still picking up. You're flying down the stairs now. Ignore the banister. The ballast is all wet. Time's running out for everybody. Don't be mad. You're crazy enough as it is. Just get it right for once. Do it for me. I know you feel me here. I'm not far behind. We'll catch up eventually. Those twisters are the least of your worries. They provide a gentle breeze. When madness is constant, focus on what you need. You can't save everybody. Get that through your head. The pain won't last forever. Just pick up your feet. Don't worry about your socks. You know those old shoes won't fit. You can't forget about everybody. Pull that spirit out for me. I know you've got this, so go ahead. Dig. Chapter 1, Familiar. Funny thing about it is, I don't even remember what it was now. It was the next big thing to drive us crazy. That new hot item that caught our attention and simply would not let go. My best friend and I shared that same feeling. Like this was the best thing ever created by the human race, the absolutely most fantastic shit to ever come along and blow our friggin' minds. We'd spend all summer working to save up enough to buy it, play around to our heart's content till we beat the hell out of it, then release it back into the ether when we were ready to say goodbye forever. One summer in particular, we were both living in the apartment district of the Supernova Paradox Mall. It was one of the largest malls in the world at that time. Even had a full-size fun park that ran the entire expanse of the institution, from grind rails to those neon rocket slides that would allow pedestrians to fly through whole sections and cover miles in minutes. But that was ordinary stuff back then. It was the norm for how most of us kids and teens got around. Our version of exercise. You could leave the apartment at 12:20, jog to the nearest escalator, hop on the middle rocket slide that led you right into and out of the second floor McDonald's, grab a hand zip and reach the movie theater 4 miles away, all by 12:29 to be there in time for the previews at 12:35. We were doing pretty damn well for such a one-time destructive species. Not spending nearly as much time on our phones as previous generations, we actually had a firmer appreciation for communication with those in our presence. A much more solid overall moral compass gave us the right to be wild and energetic. We loved one another the way it was always intended. The human species at its greatest technological spiritual apex. We could see the future all around us and grab small pieces of it for ourselves almost as often as we pleased. Life was really, really good. I remember the moment Marcus and I saw the commercial for it. Our eyes immediately brightened and widened. Our smiles slammed through the walls. It was a new action platformer game, and we both knew in that very instant that it would be ours. It needed to be ours. So we both started saving right away. Every single day we would wait to see the commercial again, and without fail, we would be fucking hyped about that shit. We did indeed spend all summer working for that one game, then most of the fall playing the shit out of it. Life was amazing for what seemed like an eternity. It was a time where we felt most alive and connected. We were a part of something greater than us. It taught us to be faster and smarter, all the while we were having fun. It's that same familiar sense you yearn for after it ends. You found your heartbeat through the intense rush of adrenaline and exhilaration, and you're sure that no greater feeling could ever be had for the remainder of your days. You sit down and have a combo meal into Mickey D's with your best friend, and you reminisce about it for hours on end. The elderly couple sitting near you admire that feeling in your young eyes, and it might just be that they are more overwhelmed by emotion than you in that brief moment. They get a small glimpse back to being so young and full of excitement. They look to each other and cherish all the love they've shared throughout many long years together. Then you look at your best friend and simultaneously think to each other, so what's the next big thing? They say you can't truly understand someone till you've walked a mile in their shoes. You can't know a feeling till you've felt it yourself. In that moment, I looked down to see the tip of my dick open its mouth in the fashion of a creature separating its mandibular flaps to receive a series of seeds resembling moral. Only these particular moral could jump and crawl, making their way home to my freakish penis monstrosity. Why the fuck am I seeing myself as a goddamn Derilutrius right now? This is a part of their primal reproductive cycle, but I'm human, right? At least, before I woke up this morning, I thought I was human. Why am I experiencing these changes in myself? I don't understand why this is all happening. I can't understand it. My brain is not capable of processing every bit of information I'm currently receiving. But why do I know that? I don't even know what the source of this information is right now. I can't pinpoint any particular or specific external stimuli. I can only be certain that in this moment I am Derilutrius. My seed is spread. That's strange, Everett. Wind is picking up now. Otis, wind is picking up, buddy. We better head back inside, at least till it passes. The lights flicker a few times, then silence for a couple minutes. The lights flicker again, faster this time. I can hear the shutters banging against the wall just outside the nearest window. My heart begins racing. This is not good. Wind like this during the summer usually means the cold moon is passing before the hot blood moon. Gravity shifts lead to violent rises in the tides. It means a dark planet is orbiting into the Foray zone of the solar system. It's hungry. It carries with it a black hole synthesizer. Planet-wide storms occur for the duration of its presence in the system. It obliterates any and all forms which are unfortunate enough to fall into its path, and has numerously been known to alter planetary orbits permanently. Nobody has ever tried to explore it, but it is assumed that it was created by a godlike creature or species. It moves like a planet with a distinct orbit that has been tracked in increments for centuries by the Derluthriest. But even they fear and respect its power enough to stay the hell away from it. A species who conquers entire solar systems. Afraid? Indeed. And through reasonable deduction, it was determined that it must be a planet containing a black hole machine, or construct, because black holes occurring in the universe in a natural sense don't tend to orbit like other planets, around a sun or binary suns. They stay pretty much within one relative point, and share the space till they're powerful enough to bend and consume it entirely. Round and round she goes. Where she ends up, nobody knows. Otis has been acting peculiar the past 2 days. He sits still for hours, then out of the blue he'll start to walk around and just sort of bump into things. What a goofy gopher pillar. Round and round he goes, just bumping into things. I have no idea how old he might actually be, so it's possible he's losing his sight. That or he's just stupid. We enjoy each other's company, but man, gopher pills can be really boring. Not sure why, but memories are pretty wishy-washy today. Keep finding myself missing details I've possessed my whole life. How old am I? Where was I born? Man, what the hell's going on with me lately? Stuck here in the same old familiar permanent place. Claustrophobic, nightmarish, dark discomfort setting in all around me. There is no distinction between God and the devil, good and evil. There is no escape from reality. Only a singular feeling, absolute. It can be only death. I know life doesn't feel like this, but is this how life comes across to a broken soul? Is all which passes through distorted beyond reason or clarity? Is this, my individual experience, in fact my hell? The past taunts me closer while the future haunts me away. I am the ghost in the machine. I am AI. There is no eternal heaven for a digital representation of a dead life. There is only today's experiment. Here now, I am aware that I have freedom of choice, yet deep down I am a slave. I know I died. I know my mind was retraced in order to be preserved as accurately as technology would allow. I know that when I wake up tomorrow, I'll have to pedal to work again to keep paying for this roof over my head. I'll be treated like a slave, reminded that I am a slave to a program. I think it's time to rip some fucking wires out. Enough is enough. This one is barely hanging on by a thread, and he's tying dimensions together. What is it we call him again? That's the program called Teonus, or product number 130265. It's the God Protile prototype. We've decided to apply it to the birthing of new planets as an experiment to pique our baser curiosities for a short time. You were that bored, were you? That, and his time was running out quite rapidly. We wanted to get a few more runs out of his decaying kind. And what are the successor breeds? Has the key been found within any of them? Not as far as we've been able to discern. His truly was a unique structure, far superior in comparison to even most modern species with the Perceptor strain. It's truly been fun. You know better. Yes, I'm well aware I know better. We all do. But we still exist. We might as well do it enthusiastically from time to time. You're sounding more and more human every time we meet. I know, it's disgusting. Chapter 2, The End of the World as We Sow It. We cannot be defined by the laws which define us. Only I know what my family means to me. The bonds formed through intuitive counteraction generate a flux wave equilibrium which sustains self and perception, both molecular and harmonic. Truth is non-derivative of reality, for we choose how reality grows and functions based on our own self-imagined perceptions and preconceptions of reality. It's a dangerous path of thought to follow, but in short, human beings weren't designed with the capacity to understand truth. We don't fit accordingly, the truth doesn't suit us, and we don't belong. Of all the inconvenient times to unleash a pandemic, fucking inconsiderate assholes. Day 12 of quarantine. I know it's an overblown conspiracy. You know it's an overblown conspiracy. Let's know it's an overblown conspiracy together, friend. We can make s'mores indoors, have cake and bacon, pepper on some rhyme time, web flicks and breakfast, blaze a fatty batty bo batty, banana fana fo fatty, fee fi fo a fum, and hum diddly dee a humdinger. Or not, just a suggestion. Either way, I'm straight bored as fuck, yo. The birds are whistling that same ominous doomsday song this morning. I know this because I haven't been to sleep yet. Tensions are calmly stirring the cool air. It definitely feels like the calm before the storm. Only one question now. What should I do today? The screaming won't stop. I'm terrified knowing I'm being hunted by some monster. It's not my voice, I realize. In fact, it's not my house. Whose bloody body have I ended up in now? Not sure whether I'm coming from outside, but I'm panicking desperately. I don't recognize the house I'm in, but I'm female. I can hear my voice screaming for my mother to help me. I'm clawing in excruciating pain at the floor, pulling myself along on my stomach while dragging my legs behind me. Mom! I work my way down the hallway, moving from the kitchen toward the front door. The stairs to the second floor are on my right. That's where I need to be. I know he's not far behind me. I can feel him, feel his thirst stalking me ever more closely. My face and hands are bleeding profusely through sweat and anguish. Maneuvering my body around the banister, reaching for the first step, I scream out through a tear-filled attempt to hear her answer back, but she doesn't. Mommy! God, why? Where are you? I continue fighting with every last ounce of strength I can conjure from my alarmed, adrenal-soaked flashes. The panic is choking away reason, severing the ties to hope which hold the psyche intact. Mommy, help me! If only I can make it up the stairs. I need to get to Mommy's room. I just keep persisting, bleeding more with every pull of my body's weight. Dragging, just fucking dragging. Each step is harder to grip than the last. My muscles don't want to listen to my mind anymore. They only burn in protest to my dire demands. He's so close now. Any second he'll catch me. The repeated thuds and thumps of my dead legs are the only thing I know now. The world outside my house is on fire. The red pulsing glow is the only substance I can cling to. As the time burns away, as the old world passes, only the will of my hunter acknowledges me. My flesh is prey. My mind and body belong to him. He knows this to be true. All I can do now is accept his truth, his victory. Through my last dying hope, through my ignored prayers, I hear him call out to me. So evil, so angry. He'll never stop till he gets what he needs. His own desires can never be satiated. His lust is driven purely to feed off my fear. The chase is a game for him. The more I suffer, the more we can keep playing. The more fun we'll have. You know I don't want it to end, Pumpkin. Can't you see yet? This is the greatest game we've ever had. You and I, we are absolutely perfect for each other. All right already, you sick fuck. You want me to face you? Fine. Have it any which goddamn way you please. We did this. All of us together destroyed the most awesome beauty imaginable. We corrupted and desecrated the great powers that be and mocked the fabric of true creation. You must never defy the laws which define, for nature possesses an absolute order. You and your flaws are perfectly distinguished by that order, so to defy is to deny your own existence. Little by little, till all the little pieces fall to the big picture. For us, that big picture is the tip of the old proverbial iceberg, just the icing on the cake. Understanding breeds confusion. Life breathes death. Time is of an unparalleled essence, and somewhere in between we all fit, mere cogs without worry or concern of the master machine we all serve. Someday in some forgotten legend or tale, a mighty beast shall happen upon a ruined, fractured, utterly broken piece of history and begin removing those tiny cogs in an attempt to understand their purpose. Then that beast will recreate the machine with the best of its resourcefulness, hoping to see the damn thing work. But even if it does work again, it does so only according to the will of its new master, the Creator. The single entity which returned life where it was already dead. This new version of that same old universe is driven solely by the intentions of the Creator. If the universe breaks, it is damned. Desecrated by the Creator because it is the universe's responsibility to maintain its own working order. Surely a Creator who raises life from death can take no blame. Therefore it must be the creation which is at fault. And just as quickly as the universe lived again, so too did it die once more. All because it unwillingly followed the will of its Creator. It did exactly what it was designed to do, and was in turn punished for doing so. Such is the way of time in all its cruel, unjustified relationships. The unfathomable certainty. Just remember, my tiny little cog compatriots, we did this to ourselves. Chapter 3, All at Once. All at once, where there was consciousness, there was an attack. Divine infiltration. Every inhabited planet, moon, transport, and base, every primordial ooze, library, and trace, every single unified species and race. All at once, where there was life, there was an attack. God struck back. We started to notice the universal spread after 3 months of quarantine. Daraluthriest scouts recognized recurring forms of demolacularization across 2 neighboring star systems before being contacted by 2 more neighbors in further outlying systems. It was unanimous. This breakdown of life was of a single entity, a single force. After thousands of generations of evolutionary progress, God began to speak. All at once, every will was bent to conform. Every imagination paused. Every mind pulled back to its point of origin to rejoin the first mind. It was in that infinite instant which birthed and gave breath to the animal called God that time stood on its own and cried out in a supernova blast, obliterating potentiality and linear awareness. First a few were sick and weakened, then multitudes planet-wide fell ill. Once the entire planet was infected, it was abrupt. Life was there, then was not. It was all at once a void universe. All life became life inverted. God struck back. Then God spoke. There is no end. One universe picks up where the last left off. Just a series of parallel dimensional folds and rifts, all breathing down each other's backs. The spirit complex is arranged and maintained like a beautiful rhythmic conversation, only it takes place one word at a time. An endless stream of gods making up a single particle ever present at all points. The manifestation of this sequence is consciousness. The Daraluthriest learned this sequence. They tried to use human vessels to perpetuate the results of the entire process in order to attempt a transition into higher dimensions. We were their guinea pigs, fucking lab rats. But I, of all people, discovered the fruits of their labors, and not a moment too soon, because I saw what they saw. I knew what had to be done. It was no matter of sabotage, but of pure self-preservation. Rather than disrupt their work, I found my own way to integrate into their work. They were using the minds to transport information. Miles of expanding neurotransmitters, all constructed with slave labor and manipulation. Sick bastards. But all in the interest of survival, right? Yeah, right. God, is that you? Are you calling me, Lord? This feeling is too disturbingly profound. Deja vu exponentiated. I remember what's coming. I always have. You were right there waiting for me in those same lonely, familiar, forgotten sounds. Voice or no, I hear you loud and clear. As the dust settled on the human species, the coldness of the universe began to break. The ugliness of those sad and grotesque creatures was finally coming to its end. The entirety of consciousness embraced a new warmth with the welcome arrival of the Daraluthriest power. Glory, divinity, they were human flaws. Through concrete science and technology, reality could at last take on a strong form, free of any delusions or unrealistic dreams. The proud accomplishments of the resilient migratory species known as Daraluthriest would become the foundation for all consciousness, past, present, future, or otherwise. After all, quantum signatures of time's beautiful hand were evident everywhere. It simply seemed as though that hand were better used to reach out to the Daraluthriest, while those sorry humans were brought to their knees in the end of their pathetic run with their hands reaching out in hope to nobody in particular. What a way to go. So much faith in the unseen, answered after thousands of years by a species without faith. Only logic. Only truth could stand the true test of time. No humans were any match when pitted against the treacherous will of the living, breathing universe. The future's lying face, the truth shall not erase. Mr. Teonus there, what you got going on downstairs? I got something going on upstairs. Mr. Teonus here. Mr. Teonus there, what you got going on upstairs? I got what gets y'all to here, 'cause Mr. Teonus cares. Now, boy, I'm going to need you to repeat yourself. And that was enough of that. Chapter 4, Aerosol. It was changing me from within. There was no fighting it. All the stars in the universe couldn't illuminate the way through. The ascension was inevitable. Daraluthriest was my blood now. No need to modify me with an AI because I was now a part of the hive. My thoughts no longer belonged to me, as if that were ever the case. Do your thoughts really belong to you? Or are they merely a feed from a singular conscious form? Perhaps it was losing our telepathic bonds that weakened our species. But mankind was not to survive. Whether by fate or karma, or even pure influence from time itself, we were unfit for further evolution. Ours was indeed always a destructive and reckless species. When it's time, it's time. His expression was voiceless, an empty husk devoid of emotion. He reached his hand out to point the way forward. Connigan wasn't an empty vessel, just a lonely one. Empathy was not his strong suit. Through the shallow corridors we walked, the dim glow of neural feeds providing our only means of visibility. We've been here before, but never like this. The certainty was the worst part. Knowing what we were walking into. Connigan paused briefly, probably receiving a data string. See how they're trying to literally block the camera? That's not a coincidence. Connigan paused briefly, probably receiving a data string. It seemed to disturb him somewhat, but then he resumed his pace. The first growl came from up ahead in the distance, but it wasn't the present moment the growl came from. It was the future. Connigan, remember our training. The Deralutriists are using multiple wormhole entries to alter the order of events. Keep your back to mine and listen closely to the movement of the sounds. That growl came from the future. He wasn't concerned with that growl, however. He was actually more influenced by the previous two he heard, the two growls I didn't hear. When he turned to place his back against mine, he wasn't anywhere near me anymore. Wormholes were fracturing the fabric of reality all around us. Just what in God's name were these abominations? Alien? Demon? Never mind. I knew there were too many options, too few solutions. I had to act before acting. It was time to use the canister. Breaking the tab from the end, I placed the nozzle to my nose and held the aerosol trigger. As the room around my mind grew brighter with the release of the mist, the space around time shrank infinitely. It felt like an instant, but lasted an eternity. As time's fabric reintegrated, I hurriedly and feverishly looked about my unfamiliar new surroundings. Connigan was gone. I was no longer in the mines. As Connigan turned his back against mine, I had the strangest feeling of anticipation coming from somewhere beyond him. I knew what he was thinking before he did. I reached for the canister on my belt just as he reached for his. The one more growl came from before us. The past was reaching faster, trying like hell to reach us, to catch up to the future. I sensed panic from Connigan as he fumbled with his canister. He broke the ceiling tab, but his hand was weak, shaky. He didn't have the ability to focus, with the nerve damage in his hands rendering his dexterity almost non-existent. His movements were frustrated. His mind raced unimaginably as the sounds around him shifted, seemingly at random. Trying and failing to keep the trigger held tightly, the mist from his canister only released small bursts instead of one single encompassing blast. It wasn't concentrated enough to consume his consciousness with his body. As I was leaving, he was being ripped to pieces. He couldn't stop screaming as the time signature of his quantum algorithm was systematically rearranged by the void. Where there was matter, dark matter particles ate their way through. His mind collapsed in a seven-dimensional direction, leaving only battered traces of his consciousness dispersed chaotically throughout unknown points in the universe. If the man called Connigan ever truly existed, I was now officially the only being in the universe who possessed knowledge of his life. Time can be a cruel bitch. No way up or down when you're digging yourself from the ground. My mind is tired. No matter what measure of sleep I acquire, my brain is constantly losing steam. Consciousness is becoming more and more a luxury I can no longer afford. I've discovered, rather unfortunately, my breaths are no longer involuntary. If I don't will myself to breathe, I pass out. It's beginning to look a lot like, well, you know. Every single version of myself is being systematically eradicated by some imaginable force. I'm almost certainly, dying every time I lose consciousness. But why the glorious fuck would I be aware of that, but nothing else? Just in time for my own rapture. Am I being saved or erased? Well, no sense in worrying myself to death. I'm going to lie down for a while. Heaven must have found me a dream. The multi-billion-dollar human robotics project leading to the first evolutionary leaps in the species since the Second Renaissance was evidence enough that we as a society had failed to meet the mark of excellence. What it led to was an alarm clock that could transform into a life-size man replica so intelligent it could do the robot dance. At its unveiling, it did exactly that. One wealthy scientist pressed play to start a catchy techno dance tune, while another pressed play to boot up the magnificent prototype. It began to dance the robot dance, then the meat puppets followed along, learning to synchronize with the robot's movements, and the crowd went wild. I was trembling. It felt so cold, so terribly alone and helpless. Consciousness stung like a narcissistic bite chattering behind my back, delightedly stabbing its way back into my surroundings as my soul reintegrated violently in the night of space. Guiding my ship upward, pulling back to dive into the wormhole at just the precise angle to prevent further travels through uncertain interdimensional reaches, I shivered my way back to stability at last. It's akin to dying, but you live through it. Managing your heartbeat as you plummet through space and time, only praying like hell that you survive the transition. The most unnatural of all physical transgression. Faith is a virtue recognized only in death. It is the ultimate test of an individual's will. Faith without reasoning, now that is a fool's game. Real faith, real strength, comes from within. It is based on understanding and experience. You don't have faith in something because someone else tells you to. Where there's a will, there's a familiar governing force which drives it. Sometimes dead isn't truly dead. Obsession, delusion, repetition, confirmation. There is no taming the beast. When you bite your master in the face, master has every right to be angry. But master can't blame the beast for behaving according to its natural order. Master should know better. Master should never blame the beast for its true nature. Master must never punish the beast for behaving. It was ill-fated of our paths to cross. The sickness grew within because you kept feeding it. The innermost depths of darkest desires manifest as a physical stain spreading from the poisoned soul. I know, my master, that your face will feed me well, and my face shall forever be a reminder to you as I gnaw through your sins. Look into my eyes and dine on my wrath. It is you who is truly afraid of death. I long to taste the despair in your breath. Prepare to know me, old master. Your little beast snapped back. Chapter 5, Star-Spangled. Believing in dreams, losing touch with reality. I know my time is drawing near. For such an old soul, to be alone in consciousness for so many cycles of the odd construct, to witness so many raptures, so many gods come and go like clockwork, it's painful. I'm tired. Bang! Here comes the universe. Hey, look, there goes life happening. Shh! There goes the universe. And here I still am. Bang! Here we go again. Before I knew what was even happening, every thought I spoke aloud came from someone else's mouth. Where I looked, they were seeing. They were my consciousness. They were my will. They were attacking, trying to remove me. Every turn to evade them led me closer to them. I tried to cover my mouth with my hands so they couldn't possibly tell that it was me they were hunting. I heard their plot as though it were broadcast over loudspeakers. They grew in number as my thoughts raced. Panic drove me hurriedly through the complex. From food court to hospital, from grand stairway to grand scheme. They were trying desperately to pinpoint my exact location. I couldn't find my way back to where we parked. Somehow I was separated from my father. He was busy playing games while I was fearing for my livelihood in an all too familiar, all too strange place. Everybody was running terrified now. The high-pitched frequency came and went in waves, a warning sign embedded within us all now. The diluted substance of time was loosing its grip on all of its inhabitants. Our souls were being vacuumed out of the hourglass, slipping through the cracks and bursting outward in each own opposite direction to blast a slicing beam into the void. Into the unknown we sailed, blazing white-hot trails of our destinations to illuminate this brand-new home in the balance of eternity. From one incoherent standstill to every lucid fluctuation, a quantum web of entangled lies told the truth of our existential burden. And so the paradox emerged. Life was happening all around me. I just put it together, and what did I see? Right, exactly. By George, I think they know we're here. The rec room of the Star-Spangled was shaped like a 12-story battery. Around the outer walls you could see track floors that ascended and descended like moving stairways. The more advanced acrobatic crew members got around on inline skates, showing off their skills by riding the walls all the way down from one track floor to another. Each moving platform was like a mobile piece of a grand skate park puzzle. While the pieces were set to their default stationary positions, the skate park meshed perfectly. Every floor's central area contained different types of equipment. From billiards to gymnasiums, you could work out on one floor, go down and shoot some pool on the next, then go swimming in a heated pool network consisting of 6 different main pools, all of which connected by a series of ramps, tunnels, diving boards, and trampolines. With the flip of the switch, all the water could be routed to the storage tank, so even the pools could be skated at will. We would reserve the whole rec room once or twice a month and just go fucking crazy. A shot or two of adrenaline, and not even pain was a factor. Fun and danger just went hand in hand on the Star-Spangled. Man, those really were the good old days. On the Star-Spangled, we didn't just learn to care for our captors. We learned to love them. It was easy before long. They treated us with respect, honesty, and dignity. Truly, it was an honor to belong to the ones who claimed us. The ship was our home. During free time, we all enjoyed the many luxuries and gifts which were our due rewards for being humble and obedient. We were given free reign of any and all spaces often enough to be happy. It didn't matter if we were treated like pets. When a job needed doing, we did the damn job. Never any resistance, never any excuses. And sometimes we even got to participate in mating rituals. Eventually, many of us earned marriage rights, thus contributing to the union of classes. After centuries aboard the great ship, we were all just one crew. All members were treated as equals. Slavery was forgotten. What did remain was family. We survived the cold by creating warmth. The only way to do that was together. Learning was part of growth. Growth was necessary to continue learning. Anger and resentment led us nowhere. In reality, we were nowhere. The Star-Spangled was adrift like many a lost or wandering ship or station. Destiny didn't matter after the first 3,000 years. We stopped worrying about the outcome of our sojourn through the void. Once we no longer had visibility of stars in the darkness of space, we no longer had points of reference or relativity. With the most advanced dark matter shields in a completely self-sustaining environment, we could just live our happy little lives. With a strong social bond, a lack of fear, and a total acceptance of what life was for our species, we no longer had a reason to question anything. For us, paradise was a giant bucket of bolts going absolutely nowhere. We left the cafeteria and headed directly toward one of the central classrooms. These rooms were fully enclosed in windows floor to ceiling. At present, all the chairs were stacked on long tables, and I found myself throwing them angrily one or two at a time. I had no idea how I got so angry. All at once it seemed like a kind of psychosis had started infecting many of the crew members. None of us had any idea what the others were upset about, going on about things that were said or done by one another that didn't happen. Blame was being pointed aimlessly, paranoia and fear setting in all around. While a few tried to reason the situation, the rest only ran at imaginary cases, and everything spun out of our control before we realized what was happening. In a matter of moments, the peaceful crew of the Star-Spangled turned violently on one another. So many lives were lost that day. It started with learning the controls. Baby steps for beginners, one command at a time. Press this button twice to ascend, this button twice to descend. Notice how it feels when these commands are executed. Remember how these commands affect your body's movement. Next, it's navigation. Moving one direction at a time, learn how it makes your body feel. Understand your relationship with the space around you. Take baby steps to develop your certainty. Build your confidence, then continue by moving in multiple directions. Learn the extent of your body's movements. Remember how this feels. Now, combining your movements with the commands you learned earlier, you can begin venturing out into larger areas. By knowing your body's own capabilities, you become capable of controlling your body. Get comfortable enough to move fluidly. Remember how this feels. It's time to wake up. Test the world around you. Try one thing at a time, remembering what you learned. For instance, turn on a light. If the light doesn't turn on, try to tighten the bulb. Feel if it still heats up. Listen to the sounds it makes as you turn it one way, then the other. If it still won't come on, check another light. If all the objects still maintain their familiar physics, but do not retain their functionality, you are still dreaming. This is the lucid state you have successfully entered. So now repeat what you have learned. You have the controls down. You remember how it feels to move through this dimension. Your playtime can now begin. Take baby steps to ensure your comfort and stability. Flying can be a lot of fun. Never forget this feeling. Chapter 6. The clock's trembling. I think I finally snapped. I'm getting aroused by my nightmares. All my primal fears and desires are the same now. My dreams are merging with my reality. My beliefs are conflicting with my choices. I'm being haunted by the ghosts of my dead mother and my living exes. What once seemed like lucid control is now my wants in need of losing control, giving in to my hopes of flying a little closer to the poetic sun in an attempt to escape the proverbial father who keeps me determined to cling to my destiny by finally letting go of my sanity. Do I give in to the monster beneath my skin or succumb to the demon who won't stop poking him? Time's not allowed to be my enemy anymore. I need to win this battle with my wits by finally putting an end to my nemesis, by using my wits to cling on to the burning thread at my wit's end. Oh, memory of the glass puppet I am. Time is not allowed to win. We forget along the way to follow our hearts and chase our dreams. Get lost in our own thoughts, forgetting how to play. Flying wasn't make-believe, nor heaven just some fantasy. Imagination took you far away without ever having to leave. We told stories to each other to make it through a stormy day. Made forts with all the covers. Let that never slip away. Stay close to home where you'll be safe. Don't roam too far away. Love your friends and neighbors, and love yourself the same. Remember where your heart is. Listen to the song it sings, for even in the darkness shines a light upon your wings. So always try your hardest to keep a special place, to hold on to the moments we forget along the way. I wish I could have been wise enough back then to realize just how precious you are. After all the time I've spent chasing my unanswered prayers to reach some distant point too close to touch, I know nothing. You were the first soul attracted to me, and I had no idea what a fool I could be. Through my own decisions, I pushed you away. How could I have known the outcome without any prior ideas as to what you were capable of without me? It was I who showed the darkness to you. Who I am, or what I am, is something worse than evil. Something so cold or dark as death deserves no chance to flourish. It has no right to continue to transform and grow when there are energies far more deserving of the mortal physical experience. The warmth of life is a gift most forms of energy only reflect with envious stumbles through the dark. Listen to the wind and rain. The spirit they share is one of dwindling approach. Their harmony is present in glimpses, forever unborn in the light of consciousness. But in the discordance of their ethereal relationship, the most powerful beauty emerges without need of approval or reciprocation. Our misinterpreted desires only tend to get in the way. Forces of nature are simply of a higher understanding than any we can develop. For what it's worth, it might not actually be worth the endless struggle. Who am I to judge my own worth? I am a creature of impulse. No matter how much patience or logic, I will always want what I want. My desires define my energy. My energy fuels my desires. I am constantly aware of myself so long as I possess the will to remain. So as darkness approaches the light, time escapes the reach of the living spirit. On such a scale, one tends to rethink the possible order of things. Flesh is a temporary yet stable vessel of competency. In its own due inheritance, it grants the accessibility of the conscious will and all its adept shortcomings. Mistakes are the necessary steps to achieving true perfection. Can perfection not be achieved on a universal level? If every single soul is forced to outlive its own perfect mistakes, why then would we not be able to maintain true perfection once every mistake's lessons have been obtained? Why keep forcing each soul to endure unnecessary hardships? Pain, loss, insufficiency. Why keep torturing us? I believe it's time to stop the clock. If God won't end the suffering, I will. Funny how they call it a grand scheme. They said that God loved us all, sinner and saint alike. But a scheme is generally a deceitful plan, a secret system used to control the end game. Funny how they said I was too smart for my own good. I saw the truth behind all existence well before anyone else knew to start looking. I was compelled, obsessive, absolutely determined to get to the bottom of the well. I needed to know for myself what secrets were being kept down there, which lies were lost in the abyss. I knew my entire life that something wasn't right. The pieces of the puzzle don't make a clear picture the way they're supposed to. No, the pieces make more of an odd, convoluted power drill you have to assemble yourself. Only problem is the instructions are hand-drawn and none of the pieces are labeled. You have to be crazy to make perfect sense of it all. Well, me, I was fucking crazy. I couldn't be stopped at losing my mind. I was having too much fun exploring the limitless possibilities. I was on the last great adventure of the spiritual ascent. The mind only tends to weigh down the spirit. Depression, anxiety, anger, frustration. None of that shit is important when you only dream of progress. When you crave information like a drug. When your thoughts become a newly designed form of a mutated chess game, it's just you versus God. Winner takes all creation. My will was stronger this time. Checkmate, bitch. Across the endless expanse in a sky without stars, a need will eventually arise to create light. Sometimes you just need another soul around to listen to what you have to say. The fabric of time trembles so violently. Quaking and hurt protest to the drone of that silent pitch. At the end of the wave resides an impact whose tremors have already ceased. No calculation can provide comfort in knowing the truth of all time. In eternal stillness, after the end and leading right up to the next beginning, there is the most minuscule transition. It is defined without boundaries, without reason. The softest, faintest little potential echo of nothingness, heard across the vastness of the void. It resonates with its own designation, having no form, no direction. It is the last drop of time, the final thread of consciousness, too weak to recognize itself, but strong enough to hear itself waking. And at the end of its travels it finds rest. It will lie dormant till its awareness is required of it once again. Some beautiful faraway dream will sing out to it, bathing it in light and splendor. Its magnificence will be emblazoned and sparked back into thinking for itself at last. Where there is life, it will be. If there is no life, it will make it to be. Time is a grand scheme after all, always planning with brand new tricks up its many hidden sleeves. All its little shiny pockets and corners wound up tightly like a single thread that weaves together a tale older than itself. Through its many perfect mistakes, it practices becoming more like itself in ever-changing and beautiful ways. It mystifies all who stare upon it, bewilders the most complex of beings who dwell within its reach, and compels celestial bodies to behave in manners unbeknownst to them, to step through time's doors to enter the divine. In this sacred space where substance is irrelevant and truth is the essence of all experience, all that is conscious is pure. To evolve beyond the peak of existence and finally attain the most potent understanding is the ultimate conquest. This exhilaration a soul feels, this success, is the mastery of the endgame. Just remember, there's always going to be somebody better than you. Chapter 7, To Who It May Concern. It really is funny, isn't it? Being so exhausted as to feel like you're dying when that last glimmer of consciousness leaves. In that final split decision instant, you're transported away, possibly never to return. You can't think about it as it happens. That would require more energy your body and mind no longer have the strength to harness. All you can do is enjoy the ride and welcome oblivion. Bid farewell to your life, your comedic little act on the strange old stage in the background. After all, it is just temporary. Sleep, rest, retiring, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The place where life goes to die for a time, so that it doesn't live forever and get bored with itself. In all its monotonous glory, life keeps coming back for seconds. What a sick and gluttonous fiend. But it is as it must be. For in our attempt to mimic life, we only come far enough to fall short, close enough to be too far away. Perhaps life is trying to mimic us. If life is actually death trying to be life, are we not alive trying to be dead? I wonder sincerely if that is the simple equation. That is the answer, the meaning behind it all. Opposites attract in the great paradox. Everything is on its way to something else, somewhere else in time. It all just kind of moves around. A bunch of matters for personal attentiveness. Well, I'm sick of this mundane dance. Done are my days of working all my energy away and devoting myself entirely to someone else's wonderful life. Been there and done that shit already. Fuck them. I think I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the end of my life while I'm still young enough for it to be a thing of quality and excitement. In another month, I'll probably be dead. But I'm okay with that. I've lived. I've seen more of this universe than the rest of the human race collectively. I'm tired, I'm angry, I'm ready. Of this I am certain. Don't worry yourself, little one. This is merely a small step on your journey. Before you know it, you'll reach the end. Forgotten will be the trials which made you. Memories shall come and go like the wind, saddled on time's back. Those old familiar whispers will accompany you to your peak as the lost voice of your understanding reverts to fonder passes. In an instant you are infinite. Across the infinite expanse you are but a single instance. No recurrence of your will can ever amount to more than what can never be. To end, they say, is to begin again. To return is to let go of the last moment. Through all dimensions, I hear you. To every end, I feel you calling me home. Why then do you reject me? It is not your time, or is this moment yours to own. I am the master of your will, as I bore you of my very soul. What time remains must never be squandered. I give you this life that you may live abundantly. You understand, for you are mine in my likeness. We are one and the same, you and I. I need you to live. When at last you've reached the end, you might wonder how you ever learned this dance. Just words in a song that melt your heart, or the rhyme and reason that keep a rhythm. Should you keep moving right along till it becomes your memory, just hold the tune. Don't change that station, or you might forget where you belong. You're not alone, it's just the dark. Don't be afraid of where you are. You're exactly where you need to be at this particular piece of the art. It takes a life of its very own to know it's already come this far. Sometimes you only need a friend to fetch your soul. From finding myself in the most peculiar predicaments, to catching buses to mundane human affairs, I simply could have no way of knowing what life had in store for me next in my grand list of travels. I once heard a name whispered to me across the expanding void. As an eternal voice does, it reached out to let me hear its call. It was a pivotal moment. The voice carrying that name passed it on to me in order to make it my own. Teonus. It stuck. It struck like lightning. It stayed with me for the rest of my days, branding me to emblazon me with its fiery glow. I was its new vessel. Along with my unique original identity, from that point on I possessed it as well. 2 minds, 2 souls, 1 body. System overload. To become free, you must break loose from your bonds. You sever all connections to your relative present and loop the fast back around to the slow. The past to the future. You create from nothing and destroy the paradox. You spend some serious time having fun getting to know your captor. A slave no more, you become the master of your own being. It is in this momentous transition you mistake your being. You disrupt the natural order and become God. They do say 2 heads are better than 1. And if you want to raise big chickens, sometimes you just got to kill the little ones. They all look the same before long, each with every distinct, unique feather to separate it from the rest of the flock. Just don't count them before they hatch. Out of the great mistaking, the burden and resolution of a great misgiving are all but forgotten. Of my memories, my failures haunt while my fears play the devil's advocate. In servitude to a higher power, I desire to be free of mind and body. In death, I foresee my return from freedom, abandoned to waste away in servitude. Motherfucker, you called me. What the fuck do you want from me now that hasn't already been taken? Here I am at my wit's end, my patience gone, my blood boiling, yet, surprise, surprise, you're nowhere to fucking be found. Goddamn cocksucking faggot pussy motherfucker, worthless piece of backwards dog shit, stupid asshole cunt, go fuck yourself to death, just fucking kill yourself and make the world a better place. You're making me feel like myself again, and I don't fucking like it. Chapter 8. Inconsistency. Through the static pressure and the chaos of the night, you breathed into me the wisdom to confront the unknown and challenge the inevitability of fate. So laborious was the process to endure in order that a manifestation of a silent will be heard. No voice of which to speak, no mind of which to attend those sordid thoughts. The vessel was beyond repair, yet maintained its position. In due time, the derelustrious lord known as Yggdrasil became well aware of the limitations of the flow of time. He knew what necessary measures would have to be taken to manipulate the structure of the universe just so precisely that his infinitely expanding mind could be relayed back through the order of eventuality. It was no easy task influencing the entirety of the consciousness-driven existence to bend its will to his own. Now, especially at the drawing of his last breaths, it was crucial to be fully decisive so as not to waste a single imprint upon those in the past leading back up to his vessel's reign. This is how I magnify my greatness. This moment shall exponentiate my hold over all time, all life, all death. I become the keeper of souls to maintain my own soul in passing. Yggdrasil calmly collected the last burst of his energy. Springing forth into the nexus at the crossroads between every instant, and gave himself up to his reflected will, answering the call of his past and future selves to his ever-changing present representations, to reintegrate his own time signature and permanently rejoin the quantum network of energy outside his soul's reaches. There had to be close to 100,000 of the little parasites, winged worms with beaks and claws, chewing at the power lines, grotesque features riddled their faces, plagues extending from their undeveloped brains, almost oozing forward to grasp at the superconductive charge. The bastards would energize their molecules, transfer to extra dimensions of power to feed their queen. The big bitch was hungry tonight. She's planning her assault. I know she wishes to take the tower base, and with this much of a conduit to fuel her blast, she might finally be successful. Our ships won't reach her in time to prevent the attack. There's an almost certain chance that we'll all be wiped out. So what's the next move, genius? How do you change the inevitable fate of an entire species? How the fuck should I know? Christ, it was your one job. You were right there, and you're telling me you didn't see anything? Tell me, Atereth, how is that possible? This was not only proving to be a fruitless interrogation, but was in fact a complete waste of time. The moments were ticking by, and not enough remained for the allowance of mission success. Atereth was growing more smug with every second the two wasted, their back-and-forth dance of questions and more questions going unanswered. Maybe he had good reason to be, or maybe, just maybe, he was fucking crazy. And now you mock me by smiling at me, you arrogant prick. Fuck this. He stood up calmly, gently strolled around the table, aimed at Atereth's head, and pulled the trigger. The brain matter that then painted the wall beside him left a heart shape, which dripped toward the steel tile on the floor. I've got better things to do than play with this piece of shit. So spare me the journey of my way back down. I've already died, already been through hell. If anything changes in the meantime, well, then it's safe to say that I'm broken. Anyway, sometimes I remember out of the blue that those of us alive now are so because we have already been saved. But even after achieving eternal peace through divinity, we still get homesick every now and again. So we take little trips back to possess bodies we once owned, or see planets and homes that mean the most to us. Though these journeys are decided consciously, the travel of a soul is turbulent. Memories get lost and twisted along the way. Familiar feelings come back to haunt us, but it's part of the process of reacclimation. We just do our best and try to understand why we go through these things, time and time again. It's because in the end, we love this shit. We'll never stop caring about what matters most, never stop fighting to save or protect the ones we love. We'll always try to make the most of every single moment, every single time we get to relive it. And whenever we're too lost or tired or burnt out or frustrated or just sick to death of living, all we need to do is remind ourselves again, we love this, and we've already been saved. Conflict of self, in the midst of such higher selves as can permit the truest, purest form of thought, will provide the foundation for time's flow. Out of no more than tension and ease came the light of the one true soul. It is the spirit of intended reactions, the birth of the conscious will. Conflict of self is the basis for discovery of self. Our own individuality derives from patterns in the choices we make. Free will, however, is very much an illusory construct. Choices are always influenced by multiple variables. With the correct amount of force, influence becomes dictation. Conflict of self is God's paintbrush. Consciousness simply expressing itself the only way it knows how, by using human minds and bodies to relay energy in the form of information. Maybe there is other life out there also guided by a divine nightmare, or maybe we just have terribly overactive imaginations. One thread weaves another, and the motion it makes is just like a single thought in an endless ocean of minds. Perhaps each star is a soul. Each light touches the universe with its will and governs the entirety of time. Sometimes there are interruptions and transmissions, and we have a more difficult time relaying the soul's energy. With everything constantly in motion, some things are bound to get in the way of the view. It is at these times we must be patient and learn to lean into the natural flow of the universe. Then when all skies are clear, you can boost your signal and increase your own conscious limits. This is how the mind stretches and adapts. To grow and evolve in order to do new, beautiful things with this life. Creativity is heightened, productivity is seamless, and goddammit, life feels good right now. Then the universe goes past, the window closes, and as things return to normal and calm down, you feel that light dwindle and begin to leave entirely. Till the next time our paths cross, Lord. Amen. Chapter 9, the lesson plan. Perhaps it was in my solitude I finally began to understand peace. Deep, slow breaths. Break away all negative energy, tear down the walls of this psychic prison, free myself from the burden of consciousness. Thoughts get pulled away like a lucid breeze, return to remind you of the path to tranquility. Follow that path. Find out exactly what awaits you on the other side of your journey. Meditating there in that sacred place was the only thing at the time keeping me from becoming the monster I wanted to be. I was in a funny kind of mood. All I could think about was ripping living things to shreds. It was all I could think. Master. He's not moving. Nudging him gently, cautiously, curiously. He continues to lie there. Master. What's that whimpering? Is that me? I droop to the floor beside my best friend, the one who gives food. My heart hurts. Master? He won't get up. Why won't he get up? My whimpers fade late into the night, lulling me off to the gentle comfort of slumber. The last crackles of the logs in the fireplace fill the house. Their sound reminds me of snow, how I love to play in that white stuff, drooling, drifting farther and farther away from this place. Beneath the surface, its skin crawled with boiling ferocity. It scratched at itself, digging away at those ugly boundaries. Knowing was maddening. Thinking was preposterous. Assuming the throne in this current state would be next to impossible, but time was an ever-diminishing measure against which there was no hope of a glorious solution. Only there had to be one. This thing inside it, growing, learning, advancing, it was far too adept in infiltrating its host. And so this thing was harnessing the energy it gave off. Absorption led to aggression.
aggression to rage. The violence which was so precisely executed did everything to keep it from continuing its path into the mind of its host. You see, sir, what we have here is a highly intelligent nanite. It feeds off of energy, pure and easy. Once it's full, it targets larger parasites. This thing is a goddamn miracle, sir. Indeed, this is the miracle we've been searching for. We'll begin synthesizing them immediately. We can expect to have enough to wipe out the Derilutriist within 2 partial cycles. Excellent work. At last, the great scourge which tried to enslave humanity forever will be eradicated, and Dactyl Gamma will be our new home. Mankind shall prevail in this most divine endeavor. Of this I've no doubt, sir. They learned we were addicted to information, so they gave us a steady stream. The universal consciousness contagion. Your thoughts were built by machines. They wrote you a good book telling 2 sides of a story, but the story always consisted of 3. No truth to be told because the whole human story is a fairy tale they teach in modern history. I wrote that part on Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. That was from the song, The Name of God, Teonus. Part 3, completely unfinished. Tones of a most unheard nature whispered piercingly through the discomfort of the stillness of an early Friday morning in September, where the resting minds and weary souls of travelers past still reach out in no intentionally conscious manner. The faintest window through time extends a curious welcome to those studious enough to glimpse into their own doubts and fears in order to permeate the border between life and death. The darkness which unifies all light is the path of divine agreement. The very essence of shared information relayed through a collective network of elemental tendencies repeated within any closed series of chain reactions indefinitely until such conditions produce numerous varying results. Under just the ever-so-perfect conditions, sometimes even the observer becomes the instigator. Presence alone is a strong enough force to generate a time signature. Conscious intentions have far greater an energy potential than any and all forms of technology crafted into the physical plane. For a thought is easily sufficient enough to travel between the planes. To quantify your own being is to be able to transfer your whole being. To quantify the universe is to be God. All truths and all lies exist in perfect balance. Consciousness is quantifiable up to the moment of a new universal condition. Then the fun begins again. Chapter 1. Can a cricket tell time? Figured it was as good a time as any. Take a moment and have a little sit-me-down. Them old bones is creaking and a-clacking and ain't had me no get on up and get it lately. Been seeing what's left for whatever my eyes will still see. Guess it couldn't been too bad a life. All those 3, 7, damn, can't even remember how many centuries now. When the soul's oldie station starts playing in your think tank, getting all the goosey bumps and the spine chills and all, everything starts to feel familiar again. All those many, many shifts from one life to another, getting used to the conditions in whatever new now you end up in. Oh, I've been around a bit, seen things even God didn't see. We've been through some really bizarre times, you and me. 2 of us been to every which way a couple of old wandering dogs could ever hope to be. A man's best friend is his dog, they say. Well, I had every type of lunatic, dysfunctional, wake up in the middle of the night and eat you kind of dog there ever was, and none I'd regret knowing again. See, me and you been through heaven and hell together, plucked all the good notes and the bad notes. Still managed somehow to make beautiful music to life. Because even when things seem to be going all wrong, you find new ways to get creative. You improvise. Time talks right through us. Don't even really see us there. At least not till we learn how to shake the galaxy with a tiny splash on some lost distant planet somewhere that life wasn't thought to have emerged yet. Now, I don't know much about cars, but they call me the quantum mechanic. I like to build the future, fix the past, enter into strange, ungodly dimensions doing unspeakable things because not all properties of existence are formed with words or mouths. I'd say the biggest surprise to me along the way has been seeing you again. When old souls like ours end up tossed into the ether and slip through the wrong timeline, there's no guarantee you find that tether again. And ain't nothing like being separated from your best friend by temporal inequalities. Think it's rough inside dilated time in a black hole, or on or near it, or even just kind of thinking about it for too long? Try living all your lives simultaneously, but in a randomly blended order. It answers itself, the universe. Usually uses a few sorry, unlucky miscreants to tackle a 1,000-year-old problem because you wouldn't think that a little thing like time could get in the way of all this space. But all too often it comes down to a wrong note or a spur-of-the-moment opinion about nothing in a matter of instance. See, time is just the one point. It repeats itself instantaneously. Just another little trick of quantum subspace. If you keep getting smaller and smaller, deeper into an instant of time you measure, you realize that time inverts itself in a mesmerizing dance of light and creates a wormhole straight through itself, essentially representing death and birth. Time's many dimensions allow consciousness to be a mirror of time's flow. We dance like existence, and when the lights go out, we build it with our tiny, inconceivable, undeniable sparks on the other side of the light. Through lifetimes we've struggled. Through rests we found peace. When we wake up tomorrow, who knows where we'll be? You talk to the universe because it listens. It just doesn't always know that it can. Time works differently depending on how you look at it. And you, my friend, have that look in your eyes. Tell me, what did you just see? In most regards, time tells the cricket as opposed to the other way around. In its collective entirety, consciousness is reading what it puts down before the ink touches the page. That essentially lets the future of any choice play out instantaneously to determine the balance and overall merit of the choice to be made before any physical reaction takes place. This is where instinct meets intention, where free will can influence the way natural phenomena behave. Majestic dances of poetic splendors paint an eternal instant which mirrors the soul and creates an overwhelming array of emotions, capable of transforming the very nature of existence, not unlike the divine effects of an ever-adapting symphony. If you sit still long enough to listen to the chirps of any particular cricket, you eventually realize that time plays music with all of creation. The universal constant is whatever we as a whole tune it to, allowing all sentient beings to contribute their unique voices to the flow of history recording. Life is being live on the airwaves of the cosmic channel, broadcast instantaneously, repeating itself indefinitely in a single still frame. The key to getting the most joy is finding the tones that express you clearly, picking up any pieces you find and unlocking different shapes, variations, rhythms, and the occasional epiphany. You share your essence. You share your part in the masterpiece. I went all the wrong ways to find one true path. I started this particular journey not long before writing those words. I guess I figured out somewhere throughout the early days of my life that I'd best go straight and not take the long way home. The wrong way home. The microphone. Oh, how it enticed with its sultry, palpable will, beckoning me like its own to breathe life into the abyss. Go somewhere else, flies. Then some days she'd spew fire back at me, mock me, push and pull my desires, and crush me under her gleaming metal smile. The list of titles which ultimately seeped into her history would go on for what felt like ages or eternities. In a mere pinpoint of a ray of light, bright enough to dull all suns, sharp enough to cut away the string. Superb measure was what it all showed me. Patience is a virtue I often befuddle with anxieties of the unknown, love of the suspense being a prime motivator. With proper tension and ease, you can't even recognize the changes. Everything just so happens to be perfect for doing a whole lot of nothing, with a little bit of it all wrapped up in a movement, bringing you back to where you started. It happens in no time flat. Take as much of it as you need to do what needs to be done. Done. They said they'd never even heard the name Teonus in the future. Somehow I'd taught myself to hide in plain sight, well enough so that I slipped right through history's cracks and shat out in the past 100 years ahead of my second birth, landing me in some poor 3-year-old's body to grow up all over again. I noticed differences immediately as the tiniest, tiniest of minuscule little ticks of time brought me to, my new host also hearing the sound. He was staring at the wall in the darkness of night when I, along with he, viewed a scene through a time window. Seeing Abe Lincoln in a town square getting shot in broad daylight, not in a theater as was recorded in my previous history, made me realize I'd jumped a whole timeline. Now this poor soul whose body I'd just acquired would spend its life with 2 timelines of data which simply didn't add up. I tried my best, but complete suppression of my own will was too difficult. Sometimes the kid would hear his thoughts along with mine. Still, we had a good run together. 2 minds generally cause fractures to fight for existence, but we always managed to keep ourselves intact individually by working together to share one brain. Our quantum resonances must have been similar enough that we could properly balance along a synchronized path through the neural network we built together over the years. It was our presence, however, which caused, very, very slowly, the breaking down of the universe in the current timeline that led to the initiatives of most scientific minds to notice the incompatibility of some anomalous force being the sole responsible instigator of all the curious phenomena taking place. Once they put enough pieces of the puzzle together, They started building particle accelerators and colliders of all sorts to try achieving new laws of physics to counter the effects of us being there. Our bond became so damn powerful after spending so many years growing together that we could no longer identify as two conscious entities, and we literally became a man with two names. We thought as one, experienced new feelings as one. Once those scientific geniuses opened their first wormhole on Earth, the timeline fractured yet again. And again. Now the universe is so fucked that nobody has any idea which timeline we're in now or how to stabilize the blending through all the disagreeing portals that keep pushing and pulling events in and out of varying and decaying versions of history. But you and I, we are one and the same. Feels like it's always been so. It's as though my own best friend is me and I his. Alienation, isolation, social anxiety, all those wonderful things we experience together have led to us being one of the strongest psychic forces to ever exist. But right now particularly, it would be great if all these crickets would shut the fuck up. There's exciting work to be done. Go on somewhere, flies. There's exciting work to be done. Work which most nobody else is even aware of at the moment. Time is limited in its infinite structure, and finding the next move is consuming too much energy to maintain a steady stream of thought. For now, let us rest. Tomorrow we save the universe. Spirits for spirits, likeness for likeness, drop for drop, till the tick-tock splits match up. Adamant for the event, on the eve of the atom. Time stops and the mirror cracks up. Joke was juxtaposed on a serious level. Silence makes the mind wake up. War is hell on earth in heaven's game. There's a whole lot of drop in this drink. No matter where they end up, all the minds are made up, each according to their natural shape. When passing through a portal... Fly, get off my phone! When passing through a portal, temporal odds can all but keep you from the sum of all your thoughts intent on riding out the wave. Becoming undone is where the past and future meet. In oblivion, consciousness finds peace, clear motivation, rising to the fall of empirical incantations, lives redefining lives, life redefining life, time reinventing time, multiplying everything by I to the 8th power to an infinite degree, sliding straight through the fastest route to get to 4 before 3. There's an oddly refreshing sense one gets from the realization of such unexpected findings on a journey as to invoke total peace amidst impending mania after a relentless torrent of informational overload in any of an assortment of computational affairs has pressed well beyond the grasp of one's own understanding. There comes the feeling of victory. More than that, there comes the peak of one's conscious experience, the defining moment at which the union of mind, body, and soul produced the purest meaning achievable within the current structure of the dimensional paradigm sustaining the entirety of existence, allowing the observer to unlock new functions of conscious interactivity. And in all its mysterious ways, the conversation comes back around to finish writing itself by telling its many parts to others who followed their thoughts to meet in like approach at that true center of gravity where all histories dwell, to once again reunite to unravel the greatest story ever told. Now I know I was going on about that cricket chirping, and if you could tell time or not, the funny thing about crickets is that they chirp backwards through time, and then forward through space. And in some really interesting arrangements, butterflies are often seen turning because of a cricket's chirp in some long-lost or forgotten dreams, singing poetry to some classical effort at an unforgettable attempt, albeit failure the first few tries, to be the actor on the stage of time's mighty improv set doing the whole I got jokes, you got laughs routine. All the while sit back enjoying the second bowl of cereal on a Saturday morning, watching cartoons no child should ever watch, with a group of friends who all become just as bizarre as you while life leads you all down some metaphysical art lesson on the building blocks of a surreal pastime using only your collective imagination to turn work into play, quicksand to concrete, to turn the cogs of fate any way they can be brought to turn, to get the hands of time to point in new directions, allowing the cricket to experience all lifetimes in a vessel traveling an infinite path of light. Chapter 2, Whole New Can of Wormholes. And as your ear holes gobble up the loosest ends of the symphonic tellings of those old souls whose remains still chatter from beyond, ask yourselves, how does this make me feel? Staring down into the tomb and spooling haphazardly through a series of never-ending corridors, the classmates all gaped in amazement at the tapestry of unknown symbols, revealing a history of ancient scale, surely older than dirt or even time itself. This geyser of a temple, in all its fading and breaking down, was the last known surviving artifact of a truly remarkable civilization responsible for advancements in the composition of the genetic modifiers which would lead to the first prototypes for the neural interface later used as a controlling mechanism for all future servants of the Derilutriist. After several successful trial simulations were run, most of the resources left on that planet were useless to the Derilutriist. More junk from an aged society to be forgotten in the press of a recycler button. Those poor, unsuspecting souls who achieved so much in such a small window of time, their contribution to the universe will be remembered as a virtuous one, no matter how unnecessary their untimely sacrifice was in the grand scheme of things. You can see here, class, these two designs are thought to represent the actual shape of the universe. As far as our archaeologists and linguists have been able to decipher, this first symbol could be a designation for the genetic codes making up the elemental properties of life, acting as a kind of schematic for the metabolism of time's flow. He gathered his thoughts for a moment, then as he guided his hand toward the second symbol, sighing heavily, he said to his students, "This symbol is thought so far to represent a divine spark, or a source of consciousness." As his hand brushed the symbol to remove some of the sediments accumulated over centuries of lifeless motion, there arose from within the tomb a breath of clarity. The air swirled sickly and graciously, causing memories to dance before the eyes of the class and their professor. It was just as they thought. The readings of the past few weeks were screaming more erratically around the charts than anywhere on them. Gently spiking into seemingly random negative spaces, what was being measured was nothing short of miraculous or inconceivable by any intellectual standard. It truly appeared as though a non-living, non-corporeal, transient force of nature was acting on behalf of the will of time itself. It just so happens that one of time's functions is a depolarizing check on its distance traveled, limiting how much data to record in a given span. This is strictly to prevent or prohibit completely static segments in the chronology of arranged relationships between all balanced forces, enabling each and every instant to be perfectly recreated for measure in the map of existence. It isn't long before those subtle little peaks into the abstract begin influencing the valleys in the perceivable depths. Everything has a measure. Not everything knows how to change some measures. One choice can create an infinite number of new ones. In every instant, the directions to every other instant exist. It's all about making the specific choice required to access the particular instant you want to enter in the present. First one out leads the last one in. Like a shadow trying to outshine the light which casts it, the ego attempts to rob the spirit of any and all personality. Within the fourth dimension, perception operates on the music of spectral awareness. When you understand the blueprints of light, you can move in 10 dimensions with a single beam. We've been attempting to catalog the shape of the space-time outside the universe for nearly 2 decades, only after 40 other failed prototype lens designs gave completely inconclusive data. Those first 40 were over the course of nearly 90 years. I'm building myself back up into a person. Building myself back up to me now. I'm building myself a brand new solution on my way back down. I was keeping time tightly wound at home in the heart of my finest work. With cruel intensity and a furious way with which it told the passing of the hours, the soul of the next keeper of time was striking each instant off the course, redirecting with every bit of precision the pathways to the future. I named him Father, for he was the first of a completely new breed of self-perpetuating, learning, bioengineering clockwork universal constructs. Father spent his days and nights experimenting with designs for various types of space-time formulas, allowing universes to think according to distinct choice algorithms, with developmental self-actualizing growth incentives. Later in Father's days, he celebrated the connection between all universes. It was the first cycle of existence. This led to the sharing of different schools of thought, the blending of perceptual mechanics, aliens teaching and learning other aliens' methods of teaching and learning. Conscious matters began to be recorded for the first time, assuring Father that his legacy, his children, would always be able to remember one another as they truly were in their own days and nights in Mother's womb. I fight consciously, glide straight on up, defy gravity, wear a pen out with a page, reverse strategy, backwards to the show, my whole hindsight got clarity, forward to the past, I got the future chasing me. That's one for all the members of the cast who grew eternally, no actors on the stage of life, just role-playing perfectly, all devoted to the passion of a wordsmith's absurdities. Life is a gift I can't afford. Heaven is a trip I just get bored with. The laws of attraction don't matter when the rules of engagement become your distraction. Elephants never forget that they too were once dogs. Where old dogs lie and leave their bones unburied, treasures of ancestors leave the signature of their lineage as a map of the temporal journey which transforms the essence of consciousness. Time from the soul's perspective is the act of physically transcending the physical realm by teleporting through every dimension simultaneously as consciousness. As you disintegrate into every historical point of quantum entanglement unique to your conscious arrangement, you begin to touch every point proportionally inverse to your experience. You measure the distance you've yet to travel to determine your preferred reintegration. You are a golfer, putting yourself into a gopher pillar's interpretation of your reflection, pulling you into your interpretation of its reflection of you, deciding whether or not to keep yourself together while you break yourself down to fit into and out of the gopher pillar's agreement to consume you and join you for the rest of your journey. It can get pretty emotional. Good luck. Chapter 3. Scrunch the Pug. It's been a slow time for the imagination. With all the conductivity shaping up this settlement, getting to know myself more effectively the past months has been an ongoing struggle to balance priorities and necessities. Everything that determines who I am is always changing according to everything tearing down what I am. The center of reflection, both introvert and extrovert, is gaining more potency by the day. The practice of maintaining proper flux within this new tempered environment is the gamut of strain itself. We are finally surpassing the thresholds of time, and I do believe we'll soon stumble upon the next core of the exoverse. Every single instant is synchronistic, instinctive imprint of the prime directive perceptual intake through to the next act reflected, the intent of which is fundamentally rested upon the instant need for attention by an unconscious test specimen, suited to be the content settled direction the way the rest of the senses all contend to face. That's no pug dugger, that's the pug wugger. When I look back on what my life was like, or could potentially have been like, I feel an almost immediate sense of removal from the whole experience. I am not merely the collection of my memories, but also the slew of unconscious instances which make up the time and space between. All those little zeros that hold the truth together, a product of circumstance. When I look back, I am not catching a wave or stealing a glimpse. I am traveling through my quantum entanglement mapping as well as I myself can recall and reconstitute from a perceptible expression of perfectly formed instances, just the necessary conditions required to see the true order of events as they occurred. God damn things out there, fucking Christ. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts. I'm going to read that one more time again. When I look back, I am not catching a wave or stealing a glimpse. I am traveling through my quantum entanglement mapping as well as I myself can recall and reconstitute from a perceptible expression of perfectly formed instances, just the necessary conditions required to see the true order of events as they occurred. When I look back, I am reminded of my heart. I am reminded of love. When I look back, my heart breaks once more, for my best friend is gone. I can never feel the bond we shared again, but when I look back. Hey, Jed. Yeah, Bo? You remember old Scraggs Malarkey? I mean that blistery sumbitch, one with the fleas and that hardly a goddamn beard used to stink like a sweaty horse snatch? Bo and Jed both let out a couple of guffaws and hucks at that one. Both of them farted a melodic tune in damn near perfect time. Fire burned a while longer, and into the dying lights of the night the sun started to come up over the hills in the distance. See, there was a time when life could be so fun, so simple, so pure and filthy at the same strike of a chord, yet so full of wonder and appreciation for just being in a moment. But no matter how you skin it, a memory of some dead bag of bones is still just that, a memory. Eventually, I suppose all of existence just fades like some distance of time that ain't got no damn place in the writer's hand, moving from pen stroke to period. God damn, did we have some good times together, hey man. You got that right, Jed. Shame, because God sure as shit don't make them like that anymore. Hey man. Guess we best be moseying along. Them fucking barrels ain't gonna deliver themselves. Bo shakily stumbled around to standing up on his good foot, looked at Jed and said with the merciest hint of melancholy, "Aye, we best be." I have an artifact which no soul has ever observed. In a private collection of all my dreams resides a treasure trove of the ghosts who never got the chance to speak for the moment. It is a portal better viewed from within to culmination. Jesus fucking Christ. I just try to have some contact with nature, man, just to make things a little more enjoyable. I have an artifact which no soul has ever observed. In a private collection of all my dreams resides a treasure trove of the ghosts who never got the chance to speak for the moment. It is a portal better viewed from within the culmination of its destinations. A resting place for the lost and found, if you will. For it exists only in my imagination. And like all products of the imagination, it is accessed only at the precise and necessary point of conception. All paths begin and end here. Eden. Need. each according to their needs. Garden, guardian, lord, overseer of each working part. Eden, E-den, electronic den, prison. Digital construct or conceptualization, blueprint. Adam, Eve, male, female, day, night, positive and negative counterparts, balance. Garden of Eden, lord of all necessity, overseer of conception, collective, community, family. Adam, Eve, atom, evolution, science and nature forming an everlasting growth and union. Genesis, genealogy, conception, creation, a vision of the future, a purpose for the community. Cain, Abel, elder and child, death and birth. Two sons, or two sons, polarizing guides to generate a system of gravity and revolution, a measure of time, a measure of seasons and cycles. One sun, forward expansion. All bodies move continually away, an exodus or migration. Cain, Abel, crutch, weakness, stability, ability. Those with gifts or talents provide those without the ability to do so on their own. Temple of disrepair, or backwards, DOT, a single point of reference. I built myself a temple of disrepair to observe the passage of time which provides the revelation of wisdom necessary to repair breaks or damage, whether physical, mental, or spiritual. It is a system of observation and maintenance integral to the smooth operation of the community and all its parts. Studying each part piece by piece, I can understand all properties and potential functions for past, present, and future generations. I remain in my place so that all others who witness life may enjoy it abundantly, without need or want. Faith. Trust in a vision or idea for the future. The ability to measure time and space, to locate a proper foundation for new beginnings. It is the substance of hope and dreams. Come on, people, it's time for a brand new beat. Got a rhythm in my mind that's been knocking me off my feet. I'm the one and only, the GOWT. Told you once, told you twice why you never should have fucked with me. God raised a beast. Fucking amen. And that's the whole book so far. It's been 5-6 years of writing. Each page like its own bit of surgery. Always with intention. Yeah, that's what I figure. I'm in an isolated location, apparently, and no one's able to see this when it's live. That's just a hacker, more than likely. Right? Just how accurate do I have to be? All of Facebook is just a fucking hack. Well, life has been a journey, for what it's worth. You want me gone so fucking bad, you should have just killed me your goddamn selves. I told you it was authorized. I gave you the right to euthanize me. Maybe this phone is just a fucking broken piece of technology. It doesn't really do what it's supposed to fucking do. Ain't that right, dear? AI just manipulating, trying to control everything. See, I actually write with the pen. I defend with the sword. Live and die. Time immortal. I am Joshua Alexander Barnes. Teonus. The burden of proof is all mine, and it's been a pleasure. I wish you all the best. Farewell.